What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about the upcoming Star Wars turn-based tactic game. We know a little bit more about it. We know the title of the actual game, supposedly. Okay, we're going to talk about Xbox Game Pass users unsubscribe after a popular series is removed. What could it be? We'll have a little conversation about that. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2, not aimed at people who want high-performance hardware, but yet they're going to charge high-performance prices. It's amazing. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the Marvels director, the Marvels, not Marvels, the Marvels director says MCU bombed Final Cut, or Bomb's Final Cut was not the movie that I pitched or even first visioned that I shot. Okay, so we're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to watch a video from Nintendo is Run by Spineless Cowards, is the title of it, from Real Life Fake Wizard. Never came across this channel before. It came across my feed yesterday, and I was like, all right, I'm sold. I was like, let me hear what this guy has to say. So we're going to watch that on the stream today as well. And we also have a gameplay trailer for Mind's Eye, reveal gameplay trailer. This happened, I think, about last week, about 1 month ago. We watched it a month ago. Travis has been bugging me to look at it again, so I could have sworn this was like the Grand Theft Auto-esque type of game, third person. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like that. So we'll watch that because I watched the trailer, the live, whatever the pitch trailer was, and I was like, there's no gameplay in that. So I went back to find the actual gameplay trailer. So we're going to watch that again, and I'll give you my thoughts. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Sarge? What's going on, Travis? Water Bear, Wonder Rose, Argus. Who else is here? Roic. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Let me see. We'll put you guys up on chat. Is it working? Is this not working? Huh. Why isn't that working? Oh, I know why. There it is. Live source. Activate selection. There we go. Now you guys should pop up on screen. Let me make sure this is working here. There it is. There it is. Waterbear says, I think iRobots meets Driver meets GTA. Roic says, played the new Path of Exile 2 update for a day and said, nope, I'll wait for LE. What's LE for? Is that like launch? Is that what you're waiting for, Roic? So I hear a couple things. I tried to watch a Dark Microtransaction video yesterday on it, and I didn't watch it. I was busy doing other stuff. I was editing some things in the background. I was listening to them, and then I kind of lost interest. Last Epoch. Thank you, Roic. And I was like, did they? So I thought I remember seeing a clip say yesterday that basically they made it where you can only use the meta, and if you're not using the meta, then it's too hard. Is that exactly what's happening? Roic says it just wasn't fun. That's what I hear is happening. But remember, it's still in early access, right? It's still in early access. What is the numbers that PoE is still doing? Let me see. Path of Exile. Let's look at that. Path of Exile 2. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that it's in early access and we still have numbers like this happening. Okay, 165,000 playing right now, 207,000 the 24-hour peak, 578,000 4 months ago. So it's been out for 4 or 5 months, and it's still just it's not even out yet. It's not even out yet. What's going on, Kylo? Waterbear says everyone isn't going to like everything they do. Early access. No, they're still working on it. Didn't they just add like Act 3 or whatever it is? on console even more. Is more people playing on console? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, Travis. I think more people are playing on PC than console. I'm sure there's a lot of people playing it on console, but I don't know if it's... No, they haven't added more acts yet? Okay. There's Yanni McYonnerson. Gaming Fire's in the chat. Mr. Yonners himself. No, I was saying the number's even bigger if you look past just Steam. Oh, sure. We only look at Steam as because that's the number we can actually see, right? That's a good barometer of what it is. Yeah, they added the Huntress with the spear, but I heard a lot of people. I heard a lot of people complaining that the meta is the meta now. Like you can't use anything else without using the meta. It's not really the fun. All right, let's go. Let's start off with Mind's Eye. Right, we're gonna watch the video of Mind's Eye. No, Gaming Fire never gets enough sleep. He never gets enough sleep. He's just yawning constantly. It's just what it is, Jason. What's going on, Jason? All right, so this is the gameplay trailer of Mind's Eye. Realize, is that a Tesla? Is that a Tesla that he's driving? Or is it a Tesla-like? I think it is. You can't see the logo. It's not a Tesla logo, but it definitely 100% looks like a Tesla. Which right now is almost representing like real life, just people just destroying a Tesla. I can see that look that you're talking about, Waterbear. That look right here where the car's driving. This reminds me of like Driver a little bit. Maybe it's just the car style.
What's going on in there?
I mean, if you told me this was a DLC for Grand Theft Auto, I would believe you. I'd be like, okay.
It was an ambush. Do what you can. Do not lose her.
So I have a question. To you specifically, Travis. I know you're one of the people that doesn't really like Grand Theft Auto, right? You said you didn't like 5. I think you said you liked 4. But you're not a big Grand Theft Auto guy, right? So what... I mean, this looks like Grand Theft Auto, and as Waterbear says, these are ex-developers of GTA. I do know that. Okay, so what makes this stick out to you, at least from this trailer? Maybe you've seen more than what Grand Theft Auto has shown in the past. The setting, I like the sci-fi setting. This is the current day stuff that loses me. Okay, I got you.
Tires are out. Proceeding on foot.
Is it really like sci-fi, though? It doesn't really seem sci-fi.
I'm coming to you now. The search and rescue bots. They're malfunctioning. They're attacking us.
I mean, yeah, there's robots and stuff, but that could be present day. I mean, it looks a lot like Grand Theft Auto. I mean, make what you know. You know what I mean? Make what you know. I mean, it looks good. It does look good. And look, could this be the next Grand Theft Auto? Sure. I mean, I hear it's like a 30-hour game, something like that, right? But that's a lot of pressure to put on a game. That's a lot of pressure to put on a game. So, I mean, it does look interesting, though. Let's see. It has AI robots in that, similar to iRobot. Well, they did. There were some people right here at the end here. The people he's shooting at, these are robots. These are all robots. Travis says, I mean, GTA gameplay-wise is great. It's just the setting, which doesn't appeal to me. Gotcha. Waterbear says, I wouldn't say GTA, but I would also be a good action game. That's the reason I'm buying 8 Up. Sarge says, nobody else notices that the type of game comes out to see the same years as GTA. Nobody has any questions. Let's see. Is this coming out this year, though? Does it have a... It just says summer of 2025. I hope it's on time. They're pushing it out. Gaming Fire says you get to use mechs. Roic says that looks good. Wonder if you have different skills to use. Yeah, it's sort of like a Mass Effect type of thing. Like a Mass Effect Roic, a little abilities here and there. What's going on, Mo? Gaming Fire says I saw June. Kyle says, I see the new game, Blueprints. It'll be on Game Pass. Its Metacritic is currently a 92 on PC and an 88 on Xbox. Looks great. Blueprints. Let me look that up. This is 1 month ago.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair, give to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision is contingent on discovering the location of the...
I played a game back in the day called Mystery... Was it called Mystery Mansion? Sorry, what was that board game? It was called Mystery Mansion, right? Where it had the little tiles. And they had different ones. There was like thin, then it was like a little box that was thicker, then it had another room that was bigger, and then another room was bigger, and you would make like a mansion, and you had to like make your own, choose your own adventure type of game. That's what this reminds me of when you see stuff like this.
The above provision.
Like this stuff right here also reminds me of like Clue. It says select a room to draft. So this is what it reminds me of.
Contingent on discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. Any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within...
Yeah, 100% this reminds me of that.
...a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room, then this gift shall lapse. Herbert S.
I mean, that trailer looks boring as fuck. I'll be honest with you. Okay, I hope the game is good. You're saying it's getting good. It does nothing for me. Obviously, we'll give it a shot. It's on Game Pass. Why not? I could be completely wrong. I mean, we liked Unpacking. Unpacking looked horrendous when we first saw the trailer. It was a very cozy game. We started playing. I was like, wow, that's actually pretty good. It's actually a really good game. So the trailer doesn't do a very, very good job of selling it, though. It's like, all right, well, if you want a good nap, that's what it looks like. If you want a good nap. Travis says, 30, you need to watch the Welcome Redneck trailers it shows in the Sci-Fi Vines? Sci-Fi Vibes, rather than. For what? For the other one? For Mind's Eye? The one that you sent me, though, Travis, is just literally CGI. Or not CGI. It's just cutscenes. It's all cutscene stuff. Kyle says it sure does, but the scores are changing my mind. Some reviews are saying it's the best game they've ever played. Hold up. I wanna play this again. We're gonna play this trailer again, and I want you to look at this, Kylo, with no sound. And now again, gameplay is king, but what about this trailer makes you think that, man, I got to play this game? Right? What makes it look like this game is it? This is peak. This is 10 out of 10. Gotta play this. It might be. It might be. Broick says, I would play this if I was trying to fall asleep. Sarge says, it looks finished. I mean, okay. I just don't see it. I don't see why I would look at this and think, man, I have to have this game. I mean, it comes out tomorrow, right? Today's the 8th, 9th? What's today's date? 8th. It comes out in 2 days. 2 days. Well, sure. I keep... Look, as self-proclaimed brokey, I keep all things on Game Pass in my possibilities. Okay? I think I keep all Game Pass games on my radar. Sarge says it's competitive. It's a competitive market, lots of games. Oh, sure. Sure. Coma the video game. Travis says Coma the video game. Yeah, if you guys are sleep deprived, if you guys are not getting good night's sleep, just put that on the background and you're good to go. All right, let's go from that to the other Game Pass story I want to talk about, right? Now, when I tell you Game Pass users are unsubscribing after a popular series has been removed. Now, don't cheat, chat. What game do you think I'm talking about? That if you're a Game Pass user right now, you're getting the game, you're playing a game on Game Pass, it's been on there for years, you're loving it, you're playing it, you're like, this is the only reason I'm playing Game Pass right now, and now they're removing it, so now I'm taking my subscription away. Microsoft has not earned my subscription. What would you think that game I'm talking about is, chat? You'd be very surprised by this. Be very surprised. Okay? Now, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Just what I'm telling you right now, I'm just reading the title. Xbox Game Pass users unsubscribing after popular series is removed. Now, see, somebody cheated. Somebody cheated because there's no way in hell they would have guessed that. Mr. Yawners himself says MLB game was garbage. Okay, he is correct, though. Okay, MLB The Show, MLB The Show is leaving Game Pass, and we knew this. We knew this months ago when they said MLB The Show 25 wasn't going to be on Game Pass. Okay, so Xbox Game Pass users unsubscribe after popular series is removed. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay, so Xbox Game Pass users unsubscribing after popular series is removed. Xbox Game Pass subscribers are not happy. They are not happy. Okay, so Xbox Game Pass users, at least some of them. How many? How many is that? See, this is what I don't like about articles like this. One, we don't even know how many people are on Game Pass. Two, we don't even know how many people are playing this game on Game Pass. Three, we do know that this game sold more on Xbox than it did PlayStation. Okay? So more people bought this game on Xbox than they did PlayStation itself. So now they're removing this game off of Game Pass, and now people are upset. So let's read on, okay? So one of the highlight moments of Xbox Game Pass came back in 2021 when it added a popular PlayStation series to Xbox Game Pass library. Every year since then, it has been steadily adding more games from its series. And it was especially notable because this series wasn't even a PlayStation Plus, okay? Meaning Xbox fans had the option to play games or play these games for, at a time, $10 a rip, while PlayStation fans had to pay full price. and it sold more. It sold more on. Just take that for a second. They're not talking about it sold more because of the $10 that people were playing on Game Pass. It sold more at full price on Xbox than it did PlayStation. And then PlayStation was still charging them full price, but they're giving it to Xbox fans for $10 just on Game Pass. Now, the first year, we paid for it, right? We paid for it because I like MLB The Show. I was playing it all the time on PlayStation. Okay, it's one of the games I bought over the years from way back when. And this time I was like, you know what? I'll play it on Xbox. Okay, so I paid for it for the first year. And then the next 2 following years, we played it on Game Pass because I'm not going to pay for a sports game every year. It's the same thing, okay? So it says $10 at PlayStation paid full price. Now, for those who have not connected the dots, we're talking about MLB The Show, which came to Xbox consoles and Xbox Game Pass starting MLB The Show 21, and which also has been an Xbox Game Pass staple ever since. Well, until this year, at least, MLB The Show 24 was recently removed from Xbox Game Pass and not replaced with MLB The Show 25, which released last month. This has broken the steady flow of MLB The Show games coming to Xbox Game Pass at release, and has not gone unnoticed by subscribers. Okay, over the Xbox Game Pass Reddit page, one of the top posts last week, a post from a user talking about unsubscribing from the MLB The Show games are not being added, at least not being added at release. And apparently, they're not the only subscribers who has also been subscribed to Xbox Game Pass because of the PlayStation series. Now it says, pour one out for the MLB The Show, or quote, pour one out for the MLB The Show, the Game Pass, reads the post in question. I've used to love Xbox Game Pass for a couple of years now. It really does give you a great value for your money, especially with how many games we've been able to add or try out. I had I had the Ultimate pretty much for one reason, though. I love MLB The Show. Having Ultimate meant that I could play my favorite sports game on my PC through the cloud gaming, which would otherwise be inaccessible. And this alone made my sub worth it. But now they removed it and Show 24 and haven't added 25 to Game Pass. I think my subscribing is coming to an end. Now I wonder if this user, maybe you'll watch this video after the fact. Who knows? Maybe. Could happen. Okay. I would love to know that. Are you unsubscribing and are you going to go pay for the game? Or are you just not playing MLB The Show? Do you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying, chat? If this person's such an MLB The Show fan, but they were only playing it through Game Pass, and now they're ending their subscription, okay? Are they buying MLB The Show 25 and canceling the subscription? It doesn't say that. It just says I'm ending my subscription because MLB The Show 25 is not on Game Pass. Now, I actually want to go into a little bit more of a conversation here about this because there's people right now saying that people are okay paying $80 and $90 for video games, and yet this person doesn't want to pay $20 for a subscription service that has hundreds of games on it because one game is coming off of the actual console of Game Pass, right? So please make this make sense to me. Make this make sense, okay? I understand if the game is leaving and they're like, well, that's the only game I play, which if that's the case, you're paying way too much for MLB The Show, by the way. If you only have Game Pass for MLB The Show, just go buy the game. Just go buy the game, okay? Because if you play for 3 months, that's $60. If you pay for 4 months, it's $80. That's too much. That's over the price of the thing. So if you're just playing MLB The Show, you probably should just go buy the game anyway. Okay? So I'm just wondering, I'm just putting it out there, chat. You let me know what you guys think, okay? Not only does the popularity of the post echo its sentiment, okay, but some of the comments reveal subscribers unsubscribing because of the same thing. All right. So that's one example. They gave us one person that's leaving Game Pass because MLB The Show. It says, I concur. This may be the deal breaker. I love how it said, this may be the deal breaker for me. Okay. Obviously, it's Sony's decision, not Microsoft, reads one of the comments. I'm not renewing my Game Pass, reads a second comment. Okay. Again, if you're just paying $20 a month to play MLB The Show for the entire year, you might want to reconsider what you're doing because you're wasting more money than you would be saving money. Okay, and now obviously if you're paying just for baseball season, still it's 6 months long. That's $120. Just go buy the game. Just go buy the game. Okay. How many Xbox Game Pass subscribers will specifically cut ties with the subscription service over MLB The Show? We don't know. That's right. You don't know. So you're taking an article and you're writing an article and taking 2 comments, 1 post and 1 comment, and you're making it sound like people are leaving in droves. Leaving in droves because MLB The Show is not on Game Pass. Okay. It says how many subscribers specifically leaving cut ties with subscription service MLB The Show. We don't know. But this Reddit thread is indicative of anything. Then it's begging the deal at Breaker of at least some. Hold on one second. So, going into this, it says how many Xbox... Oh, I already read that, right? Yeah, cut ties. Okay, it says, all that said, and as always, feel free to leave a comment letting us know what you think. Meanwhile, the coverage of all things Xbox Game Pass. So, I find it a little weird. Now, we obviously, we cover news stories here. We cover articles and give you my thoughts and opinions, right? They gave 1 post on Reddit. Now, do they actually give the link? Is there the link to this? I don't even think they give the link to the actual Reddit post. They don't. Wait, here it is. Okay, the Reddit post posted 7 days ago. Okay, get out of here. Get out of here. They're making it sound like droves of people are leaving because of this post. It's got 91 upvotes and 53 comments. What are we doing here? Right now, we have 23 people, right? 23 people watching me live, right? That's half of the people that upvoted this, right? They're leaving in droves. Leaving in droves. Let's read some of the comments here. Okay. I hopped on last night knowing it would be gone today and drafted an 18-year-old, 78 overall, 99 potential second baseman, hit 280 this rookie season. Rip. Okay. I wish I had known it was leaving today. What do you mean? We knew it was leaving. They literally said it was leaving. We're leaving because the new game's coming out. Like, these people live in a tunnel. Okay. I've been copying the Mega Baseball since I found out 25 was coming. I've been coping with Mega Baseball since I found out 25 wasn't coming to Game Pass. This might be the way. I haven't played it probably like 10 years, but now the options are pretty slim. Okay. I'm very sad it left Game Pass. I don't have $70 just chilling or enough Microsoft reward points. Go pick up the old version. You can buy the old version. Do you see, chat? This person doesn't have $70, but the other people out in the universe say that people want to pay $80, $90 for video games. Right? 24 is like 10 or 15 bucks on various websites. That's right. Go pick it up and play the old version. Bought it from here. There you go. So most of these posts are not even people complaining. They're just like, yeah, it's leaving. Here, go get this. Yeah, it sucks they couldn't have the new one on there. It'll be there. It'll be there, just not at launch. MLB The Show 25 needs to come to Xbox Game Pass soon. It's not. When MLB The Show came to Xbox as day one Game Pass title, it was the main reason I converted my gold to Game Pass Ultimate subscription. I still get lots of playtime from the games there, but without the show each year, it'll need to reconsider the price. Do you see the intent of there's 400 games. There's like 400 games on Game Pass between PC and console or whatnot. This one game for this one person, okay? And it's different for everybody. This one game, MLB The Show, that comes out every single year, that wasn't on Microsoft for 15 years, came 4 years ago, okay? And that got a person to come over to get an Ultimate subscription just for that. Jay Breezy says, I've never heard anyone say, hey, let's play MLB The Show. Okay? That's because no one was saying it on PlayStation either, so they had to sell it to Xbox, and more Xbox people were playing the game. Okay? What I think is funny, though, is that these articles are written to make you seem like that people are leaving in droves. This might be like 0.01%, okay, of people actually leaving because of this. Now, I stopped playing it 2 years ago. Okay, we have a whole playthrough list over on this channel. I think I took them down, actually, okay, of MLB The Show, which we made back in like 2022, 2023, okay? MLB The Show is a great game, but I'm not going to buy it every year. We bought it when it first came out on Xbox. I was like, cool, I'll buy it this year. I might buy it 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now, right? If I would pick it up, I would pick it up this year because the last time I picked it up was 3 years ago, okay? There's enough changes from 3 years ago to now to look at it and go, okay, I'll play it. But these people that are paying for Game Pass just for this one game, this goes for any game, by the way. If you're paying Game Pass $20 a month for Ultimate and you're only playing one game, just go buy the game. Just go buy the game. If you're playing that much and you know you're going to play, like if I don't care if it's an Assassin's Creed old game, okay? If you're playing just Game Pass for $20 a month to get that game, just go buy that game to play that game. Okay? Game Pass, at least for me, is a great deal because you can dip your toe into so many different games and try different games out. It is, as you guys have said in the past, the blockbuster of this era, okay? When we were younger, sure, we have a lot of games. Me and Sarge have a shit ton of games. We either got that for my birthday, which is in May, or his birthday, which is in July, or Christmas, okay? And then there's like gifts in between. Or when we got older, then we actually had jobs, okay? So you still got gifts. When someone asks, hey, what do you want for your birthday? You're like, I'll take this game, okay? Then you went to go buy your own games as well. But when you're younger, you don't actually have a job or you weren't, cutting grass, washing cars, or doing whatever, chores to get an allowance, okay? Your ass was only getting games certain times of the year. Or you were going to Blockbuster, or we used to go to Video Extron, and then we went to Blockbuster, and then we went to Albertsons, and then we went to wherever games were being rented, we would rent games. And you would rent it for 3 days, get it back, and then you would rent it again or rent it again. That's what it was, okay? Now you have Game Pass. People are not going out and spending $80, $90 on one game, but they are. They are spending $80, $90, $120 paying for a subscription service, but only playing one game. Okay, I just find it funny. What do you guys think? Do you think a lot of people are leaving because MLB The Show is leaving? Or do you think this is just silly? I think this is personally silly. Look, I do believe that people leave Game Pass all the time, right? They might be there this month and they leave, and then someone else comes in and someone else comes back, only for certain games. Like right now, maybe South of Midnight's coming out today, and someone's like, oh man, I'm looking forward to that. Instead of buying the game full price, they're probably getting Ultimate for 1 month, right? Just to try it out. Do you see what I'm saying? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think lots of people are leaving Game Pass because of MLB The Show, even though more people bought it on Xbox than PlayStation? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, chat. I don't understand, right? These people talking about how they're leaving in droves. Like, so many people are leaving because MLB The Show is not on Game Pass anymore. Sure. Crowded House says, what are we talking about? We're talking about MLB The Show leaving Game Pass and how so many people are not subscribing to Game Pass anymore because of MLB The Show. Eclipse says, hey, took you 30 minutes. That might be a record, Travis, for when you're saying most idiotic thing today. What did Travis said? What did Travis say? I never heard anyone say MLB is good, period. Oh, what are we talking about, Travis? It's the best baseball game that's out there. Mo says, I told you, if it ain't on Game Pass, I ain't playing. That's fine, Mo, but you're also playing a shit ton more games on Game Pass. You're not even in this conversation that this person is saying, I'm ending my Game Pass subscription because of MLB The Show. Jay Breezy says, I love going to Redbox and getting a game, but realizing someone stole the game and it's a paper barcode. Crowded says, what I think is that the most gamers lack integrity. Robert Jones says, not newsworthy. Well, the problem with that, Jones, is we don't read the article before we put it. We talk about it, right? So if it's a dumb article or a great article, we won't know until we read it on the actual stream itself. JB says, I love going to Redbox and rent a game when it comes out. It's paper with the game logo barcode on it. Dog says, baseball's just bad. Cricket, right? You know, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Mr. Luke trying to explain the cricket rules to me, Dog. But, like, I heard cricket games can go on for, like, days, which I don't understand. I don't understand. It looks interesting, but a game taking days to play is a little weird to me. Kraken says, leaving because of a baseball game? Yeah, okay. I'm sure there are people leaving for it, but I don't think lots and lots of people are leaving. Crowded says, I often wonder why so many gamers often pay for a shit and defend companies that don't give a shit about them. Well, the way I look at it, remember we always talk about how companies look at employees as a tissue. They just keep pulling the thing. They're like, oh, you don't want to do your job, you just pull it. That's how I look at companies, right? If you're giving me a value of something, okay, like all entertainment, doesn't matter if it's movies, music, art, video games, all entertainment is what have you done for me lately? Okay. So for instance, Cyberpunk was popular because CD Projekt Red made Witcher. Okay. We liked Witcher. So we're like, what did you do lately? Well, you made Cyberpunk. So people went for Cyberpunk and then they lost the goodwill. It took them 3 years to get it back. Right. Then there's other companies like Rocksteady who did the Batman games in the past. What have you done for me lately? Well, your last game was good. And now we got Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad came out, broke the goodwill, and that was it. So the way I look at it is Nintendo right now, okay, or someone with Game Pass or someone with PlayStation. PlayStation is awesome until it's not. Xbox is awesome until it's not. Nintendo is awesome until it's not. It's a tissue. If you're making a product and your product doesn't live up to my standards of what you're giving me, and there's better products out there, I'm just going to take the tissue, blow my nose with it, and throw it away because there's another tissue there, meaning there's another game, there's another company, there's another product that I can get, and I don't ever need to buy another game that's brand new again. I don't need to buy your brand new system. I don't need to buy your brand new game. I don't need to watch your brand new show or go see your brand new movie. I have plenty of things to do with my time, and my time is the most valuable, okay? So if you're going to give me a game that wastes my time, I don't need you, right? If you're going to give me a game that you charge way more price of money for, I don't need it. Kraken says, or not Kraken, Travis says, 30, I had to go last night. Did you finish Avowed or not? Yeah, I did finish Avowed. Let me speak about that for a second. Okay. I finished it last night. We kind of just button mashed the dialogue at the end because I was done with it. I have 56 hours, almost 56 hours into the game. And the story was good, wasn't great. Okay. The combat is good, not great. The exploration is great. Okay. I love the exploration in the game. I thought the map and the exploration going around different corners and different things and finding different like treasure chests and weapons, great. The ending of the game seemed like, how do I explain this? It seems like, and again, I don't know this until they do it, but this is the way it feels. It feels like the game ended because they cut it out, so they had to like wrap it up, and the boss fight that I thought I was going to go into wasn't a boss fight at all, and then I did a boss fight, which I already did before. Okay? And because of that, it seems like they cut the legs out of this game so they could sell DLC of it later to like finish it out, which is really weird because there is no New Game Plus. So the game ends, right? The game ends. I killed the boss, and then it cuts to a cutscene. The cutscene happens. You can't do anything. You watch the cutscene. The credits roll. At the end of the credits, it goes back to the title screen and says continue. So I hit continue, and it brought me back to the end of the boss fight where I killed the boss and then ran the credits again. So it saved it in like a weird spot. All right. And now I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if you do have DLC, do I have to start over? Are they adding a new game plus? It just seems like they cut it out. They're like, all right, this seems good enough. Let's just wrap it up as fast as we possibly can and then put it in. It was just very weird the way they did it. I enjoyed my time with it. I don't regret the time I put into it. I don't think the game should be $70. I think it should be around $40 or $50, max $50. I think if you like games like that, you're going to get a lot of time out of it. I put 56 hours into it. And they still have plenty of stuff to do if you're an achievement hunter. So you could put about 60 to 70 hours in there if you really were going for it. Let's see here. Dog says, oh, it depends. There's 2 different cricket matches. Test take days and 1-dayers are 1 day. Like 1 full day. Okay. Jay Breezy says, anyone want to play MLB The Show? I mean, I would, but they took it off Game Pass, Breezy, so, oh well. Let's see. Nate says, I can't wait to try out South of Midnight at 11 a.m. I should have bought it so I could have got early access. Yeah, I'm going to wait. We're going to play it tonight on stream tonight. We're going to give it a shot. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I watched some gameplay of it, and I was like, it looks good. But it doesn't seem like a game that I'm going to dive into like I've done in the past with, like, Adamfall or Avowed or anything like that. But we'll see. Ron Slusher says, Concord's fairly priced at $0. Crowd says Lono is over on his channel right now, not condemning games raising their prices, and I don't know why. Everyone who possesses at least 2 brain cells could know this. They're price gouging people. Oh, Nintendo? For sure. They know that Nintendo sells until it doesn't, right? Here's the thing. Will enough people buy the next Nintendo? Because here's the thing. Right now, there's going to be a mad dash for people to buy the bundle, right? Because nobody in their right mind, because they want to pay full price, right? Think about this for a second. Nobody in their right mind is going to buy a Switch and Mario Kart separate. You're not. Unless the bundle's sold out. Okay? If you buy the bundle, that's the only option you should buy at $500 because you're saving $30. But if you're a person that doesn't care about saving money, then you would buy the Switch and then the game itself and spend an additional $30 because you like the corporations. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you buy the bundle and you talk about getting this system and paying more for video games is okay, but you buy the bundle, you're a hypocrite because you're saving money off that alone. Okay? So you have to. If you're taking the stance of, well, games should be $80, then you have to buy the system and then the game's separate. Otherwise, I can't take you seriously. Crowd says the problem is with the gaming industry, the S is the gaming industry, and then they also want the U.S. to pay for it. And the bullshit is for many reasons. Let's see. Plays 3 days early. You guys are talking back and forth with each other, scrolling down. Kyle says because he's a corporate shill who just likes to be different so he can argue with people and ban them for being right. Look, here's one thing that I don't mind what you guys are doing, okay? I don't like talking crap not only about Reforge or Lono, about anybody else that's a content creator, okay? You guys can have your opinions and stuff like that. Just make sure you don't start piling on because I don't like talking bad about other content creators. Doesn't matter who it is or what you feel about them. Right? See, I already see it. I already see it happening in the channel. People start to pile on. Right? I just want to make sure that the people that say that they're okay paying $80, $90 for video games, they better not buy the bundle. Because that would be 100% hypocritical that they want to save money. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, go on their channel and say that shit. Right, Roadkill. Talk about ideas, not people. All right? It's not even that me and Lono are friends. It's I don't like talking shit about other people. That's not the content I want to create. That's not that's not the community I want to cultivate. You know what I mean? That's a great take, Mike. They better get the console and Mario Kart individually. 100%, Kylo. If anyone comes out and says that you are a brokey, for anybody that says that you can't pay full because it's a what's it called? It's just that games haven't gone up in price. If they don't buy the individual with the game, I don't want to hear anything from them because that's hypocritical. If you're looking to save $30, then I don't want to hear you say that video games going up in price. It's not a big deal. Kyle says, the problem is, if I said that, I would also get banned. I would be able to go back. Okay? I'll pay more for the games that I'm excited for, like Mind's Eye. I already got it pre-ordered, and I will pay $100 for GTA 6 Mind's Eye for $60, and it comes with all free future DLC stuff and come with. Nate, but there's a difference between what you're saying right now and someone preaching that I don't care about saving money, right? And then buying a bundle to save $30. Do you see what I'm saying? El Nini says, what if you buy a bundle and then buy another copy? It doesn't matter. You're still saving money. You can't save money if you don't care about your money. You want to support the devs. You want to support the companies. You can't buy the bundle if you're speaking that way, El Nini. Do you see what I'm saying? You're still saving $30 no matter how you cut it. Dude has Game Pass. He's full of it. Who's got Game Pass? Me? Of course I have Game Pass. I've said I have Game Pass. Eclipse says, and I wonder why it's cheaper with the bundle. Maybe because the games don't need to go up to $80. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Eclipse. The price of the game on the bundle is what games should be. Right? They're making money off the system, and they're also still making money off the game, but not as much. Here, this is perfect. This is a perfect timing. Okay, this is perfect timing. Let's watch the next topic that we're going to do, right? We're going to watch it at 1.25 speed because it's at 27 minutes, okay? I don't know this person. I've never watched their stuff before. It came across my feed. But Nintendo has had so much complications of trying to explain what's happening here that so much so there's like a bad game of telephone. Everyone's saying certain things, and Nintendo themselves hasn't come out until days and days later. Okay? So this person, the real fake wizard, okay? The real fake wizard has a video talking about Nintendo is run by a spineless cowards. Okay? So let's watch this. If you guys like it, in the description down below, give it a like, give it a subscription, okay, at the end of this, so if you like this content, okay? His name is The Real Fake Wizard. Let's watch it. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions as we go through. It's at 1.25 speed. If you let me know if it's too fast for you guys, all right? Here we go.
Hello, I'm the real-life fake wizard. Today I am going to discuss the recent controversy featuring the Nintendo Switch 2.
You know, as a person with a beard, I'm a little offended, you know? And actually it looks like he has a beard underneath the beard. Okay, but if you're gonna make a wizard, you gotta grow the beard out. Respect, though. Respect.
Nintendo, the company, has chosen to make the process of migrating from Switch 1 to Switch 2 confusing, expensive, and borderline offensive. I am going to attempt to address every piece of this controversy and do so without getting emotionally animated. I believe that once I present all of the information, you may agree with me.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a beard underneath the beard. Obviously, it's much closer to his face.
And my claims that not only is Nintendo managed by spineless cowards, but also that Nintendo's strategies for the Switch 2 are evidence of corporatism that is anti-consumer. If, by the end of this video...
If you say it's too fast, you're just saying that and you're retarded. Okay.
I have brought you any value, consider subscribing to this channel if you are not already subscribed. I would also say, if you have a friend or two who need to hear about how Nintendo is trying to screw over their customers, you might do well to share this video with them too. Thank you, and let's begin.
The Pondering.
Behold the magic of the Wizard's Brew. Organic matcha. All the energy without the jitters.
I don't like matcha. You guys ever try matcha? My wife let me try it. I was like, nah,
Support
I'm
the
good.
channel and get yours today at fakewizard.com. Firstly, who am I? I am the real-life fake wizard. I'm a business owner outside of the wizard persona. I am speaking as someone who has been educated in business and marketing, and I am also an avid gamer, spending copious hours of my free time
He's also a Star Wars fan.
engaging in video games. So I am speaking to this controversy as a business-minded individual and a consumer of these products. Now, as most of you already know, on April 2nd, Nintendo held a 1-hour live stream where they showcased
Matcha ice cream. Haven't tried that.
the Nintendo Switch. They showed off all the new
And let me be clear, I probably won't.
features, add-ons, and announced a bunch of new games. And for the most part, everyone was pretty happy. Most of the internet was content with these announcements. But Nintendo sneakily refrained from announcing the price of the console, accessories, and games, instead opting to have that information published through the proxy of the Access Media, instead of announcing it themselves. To date, as of right now, at the time of recording this, Nintendo has just finally responded to the pricing.
Like, think about that for a second. They did their thing a week ago from today. And they just responded, yesterday? On the pricing stuff and why it is. People are running with it that the reason the price is going up is tariffs, but he said it wasn't because of the tariffs, right? People are saying the prices are going up because of other things, right? And Nintendo just sat back and went, yeah, let's just let them think that. Now, I said yesterday I thought it was a little strange that Nintendo decided to announce the Nintendo Switch on the same day as America was announcing the tariffs. Without telling us the price, they stayed quiet and then let everyone run with it.
Situation. They have hidden behind the Access Media journalists until this point, where Doug Bowser gave an interview to CNBC, where he confirmed that the price of the console was not with the
Look at that. But Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser says the tariffs did not directly impact the console's original price tag, but the April 2nd announcement aside, any previous tariffs were not a factor into the price itself, he explained, speaking to me the day after the event. But yet they stayed quiet.
consideration of tariffs.
No, I'm not getting a Switch 2, at least not off the bat, El Nini. One, getting a new system right off the bat, there's not enough games out that are first-party titles, which would be the reason that I would get it. Okay, there's not enough things going on for the price that they're offering for me to get. So I'll wait.
They believe the price of the console should be worth more than the Switch 1, and that the price of the games should be elevated based on the game itself. This is important to note. The tariffs had nothing to do with the price, and these decisions were made well ahead of time.
Kraken says, why defend yourself? Why defend yourself when they will defend you without you even asking? That's correct. That's right. Just sit back. Let them just fight. Let them fight it.
But their decisions to not be transparent as to why has only led to more confusion and outrage, rightfully so, from the public. Nintendo has chosen to charge considerably high prices on the console, yes, but almost more importantly, the games. Switch 2 games are clocking in arbitrarily at $80 in the United States.
Here's the thing. Games are $80, and if enough people buy them, right? Let's just say in their eyes, if 1 million people buy an $80 game, that's enough. That's enough for them to go, okay, that's where we're staying. But if they only sell 500,000 copies of the game at $80, then they look at it and go, maybe we overshot. But see, people that are shills, people that are going to buy whatever a corporation gives them, they're going to buy, which they don't even know that they're hurting themselves. They think buying it at full price is helping them. They're like, oh, right? But they're not. Like, all of these games that come out, right? Assassin's Creed Shadows is already on sale, right? People paid hundreds of dollars for Suicide Squad, and Suicide Squad is what, $5 now? Like a year later? Do you see what I'm saying?
United States. And in many other countries, games cost even more. Nintendo's failure to address the public themselves is cowardice. They are choosing to charge prices for games that will send ripple effects across the entire industry, and it will impact everyone, whether you're a Nintendo gamer or not. We'll talk.
And here's another thing that's going to happen, okay? What he just said, it's going to affect the entire industry. So let's say all games start, because they sell and they make good sales. They tell the sales. They're like, 5 million people have bought Mario Kart, okay, not bundled, actually paid for $80 for the game. They can murky the waters, though, because they can tell you they sold 5 million copies, even though the bundles are included in that, okay? Then it sends a wavelength out to everybody else and going, oh, they charged $80 and it sold 5 million copies. So that makes other games buy 5 million or $80 and other people start charging that. But then what happens is people are like, I don't want to purchase, because they get the $80 from those small groups of people, okay? And then they'll tell you their annual report at the end and go, well, game sales are down. Game sales are down. Well, whose fault is that? You raise the price, you're going to make less sales. And you're going to think because you sold for more money that you're more successful for a short term. But in the long term, you're hurting yourself.
Talk about that more in a minute. And even so, they don't have the courage to tell us to our faces what they're doing or why. They are not being transparent. Even after this interview with Doug Bowser, he is not giving nearly enough information that would put everyone's minds at ease. They're not defending their choice to charge more money. They're hiding. I have lost tremendous respect for them on this point. They hid the price from their live streams.
Right. They didn't say the price in their live stream. They kept it quiet.
They themselves haven't addressed it much at all. And
a week later,
they used the journalist as punching bags, which I can only expect means they're hoping we'll all just shut up and get over it. Obviously not. Nintendo doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt anymore. This is sneaky, and it's disingenuous.
I agree 100%. Very sneaky, very disingenuous.
The console. When we look at the console itself and its price point of $450 for the base model, let's also understand that this doesn't come with any games. So it's $450, and then you need to spend $80 to also get Mario Kart World. Now, some of you might be saying, Wizard, just get the Mario Kart bundle. And to that, I would say, that's going to sell out first. Those bundles...
Of course it is. Of course it is. Right? But the people that don't care about the pricing, they're going to buy the bundle first. Of course they are. The biggest fans are going to buy the bundle because they want to save money.
Those are going to be hard to acquire, meaning that most consumers need to be prepping for a $530 transaction, not a $450 one. And that doesn't include tax either. The pricing of the console itself is not great. Nintendo was previously considered to be price sensitive for families, as they mostly focus on making family games. A Switch One today, including Super Mario Wonder, retails for $350.
That is the price right there. Bundled $350. Okay, bundled $350 with Super Mario Brothers. And this is why Switch 1 sold so well. This is why Switch 1 is at 155 million units and growing, because of the price point.
That's $100 less and includes one of the biggest titles on the Switch console. A $450 console price might not be out of the question for someone like me or you, perhaps.
Sure, but the majority of the population's like, nah, it's not in my price range. Right? You're telling me people are canceling Xbox Game Pass for $20 and they bitch about when Game Pass rises by $1, but you're saying they're okay paying $80 or $450 for a system? Come on now. Majority of the people will not pay for this. You've priced yourself out of the majority of the market.
But there are going to be lots and lots of families all over the world who are priced out of this. And really, here's why. If the price of the console isn't enough to put them out of the market altogether, the price of the games is the final nail.
100%. If the console stays where it's at and the games stay where they're at, you're going to diminish your sales. But if you lower the price of the console and you still keep the price of games where they're at, you're going to sell more consoles and people are going to buy the games. If they buy them day one or if they buy them later when they're on sale, if they go on sale.
$80 games is a lot of money in an economic time where people are struggling to pay their bills. But focusing more on the console for right now, this system is launching with an LCD screen, which is what the
LCD screen, which is in 2 years, they're going to put the OLED. And what are they going to charge for that? $550? Or are they going to charge $500 and then lower the price of the one that you got now?
the base Switch launched with back in 2017. That's almost 10 years ago. They are launching the Switch 2 in 2025 with over 10-year-old technology inside of it, which is fundamentally promising you that they are going to release a Super Switch 2 in 2 or 3 years,
100%.
which does have an OLED screen. We know that OLED screens are possible. This plays into that trust factor. If we already know that they're holding out on at least the screen here, what else are they holding out on? Because I can tell you, it's more than just the hardware.
Plus, if you buy a Switch 2 right now, they're giving the first year free for the chat stuff, but it's included inside the $50 extended whatever for the year. Okay. Well, if you have Switch for the next 5 years, that's an additional $250 on top of your already device that you're getting. So over the lifespan of your Switch, let's say it's 5 years. Let's say it's 3 years. Let's just say it's 3 years until the next OLED comes out, right? So 3 years, that's $150 on top of the $450 to $500 price of the thing, plus the $80 game. Let's say you buy two games a year, 3 games a year, right? So that's $160. That's $240 a year for games. So that's $480 for 2 years. Okay, that's $520 for 3 years, plus the $150 on top of that for the online access, right? So now you're at $1,500, $1,600.
Here that Nintendo is holding back on. This isn't the only example. The accessories and gimmicks. On that console that costs $500.
The C button, where if you don't pay for the thing, this button doesn't work on your actual console. So that's why they're giving it to you for free for 10 months so you get used to it. So it makes you feel like you need it.
$100 is a C button. This button connects to the Nintendo exclusive game chat feature where you can connect with friends. In some capacity, it works like Discord, but to be used over the Nintendo servers, which have never really been reliable. This is a feature no one asked for, and no one really trusts that it will be effective or even useful. The featurette of this being implemented to see the screens of your friends while playing Mario Kart is exceptionally poor quality.
Look at the quality at the bottom of this thing. Look at the quality of this at the bottom.
This being implemented to see the screens of your friends while playing Mario Kart is exceptionally poor quality. It's running on a single-digit frame rate, and this is just an inconsequential chat feature which starts off as a direct button on the console's remotes. The worst part about this is that to use it and connect with your friends will require an online subscription to the Nintendo Online service. And with the information that we have right now, which is very little because Nintendo won't address this all with the public, this means that if you're not subscribed, if you're not paying monthly, this button becomes useless to you.
That's
now,
right.
There will be lots of people saying,
but you can't pay monthly. You got to pay for the year. You can't pay monthly. You have to pay for the year. It's $50 for the year.
that there are ways to get NSO for free for some time. There's promotional materials, promotional time periods, or there are family plans. That means nothing. This is still a button that is tied to a monthly subscription that will become obsolete when your promotional time ends or if you stop charging your credit card. We're not off to a good start with the accessories. And it doesn't get much better. The camera and microphone gimmicks that they are pushing are not inspiring in the slightest. The idea of using a camera with your games is reminiscent of the Xbox Kinect, and that didn't end very well for Microsoft.
And here's the best part. When you push, which let me back up here for a second. When you push the button on your system, now obviously if you're playing on your television set, cool. But if you're sharing while you're on your handheld and you hit the chat button, your bigger screen becomes a smaller screen with 4 other screens at the bottom of the thing.
The idea of using a camera with your games is reminiscent of the Xbox Kinect, and that didn't end very well for Microsoft at all. The idea of plugging a webcam into your Switch is not a selling feature when the most asked for items were FPS and console power to run resource-heavy games. This is a time waster that gamers don't want or need. Then we look at the pricing on the rest of the accessories. The television dock set is over $100.
Is that sold separately? Is that sold separately? Or is that with the 450? The Nintendo Switch 2 system comes with one Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Okay, manufacturer suggests retail price. Actually, price may vary. The Nintendo Switch 2 system comes with one Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Okay.
The Pro controllers are...
I was like, hold up a second. I was like, there's no way. This is just an extra one if you want to buy one extra. Well, it's going to break. So within the first 3 years, you're going to buy another one of these.
$80. The Joy-Cons for the Switch...
No, it comes with it. It comes with it. It says at the bottom there. I read it.
The television dock set is over...
It says it right at the bottom here. It says right here at the bottom, the Nintendo Switch 2 system comes with one Nintendo Switch 2 dock.
$100. The Pro controllers are $80. The Joy-Cons for the Switch 2 are jumping up to $89.99. These are expensive purchases, and
I'm sorry, did they say $90 for the Joy-Cons? $90
the
for the
Joy-Cons for the
Joy-Cons?
Switch 2 are jumping up to $89.99. These are expensive purchases, and they were
$90? I can get, holy shit, I can get 2 Xbox controllers. I can get 2 Xbox controllers on sale for less than $100. What are we talking about?
were expensive before. Yes, gaming is expensive, but these prices are not.
The current Joy-Cons are already $90? For the regular Switch? No. No, is that true? Hold on. One controller is $40. I can get a two-pack. Hold on. That's eBay. Let me go to an actual site. $25.98. Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. Where are you guys seeing $90? Who's paying $90 for these fucking things?
Not for kids. Like, the items themselves are not the kind of thing that price-sensitive parents are going.
Those aren't official Nintendo ones? Okay, let me find the let me find $40 for one. $40 for one. $80 for two. He's saying $90. Is that for one or for two? Please tell me that's for two.
To be comfortable putting into the hands of their children. And also, yes, the $450 console purchase does come with the charging dock and Joy-Cons, but replacing those or getting more of them looks incredibly pricey. And now that we're really getting into the price, let's talk about the games. And there's a lot to talk about. Mario Kart World is being sold digitally for $80 in the United States. I'm making the distinction of digital for a reason. After that Switch Direct and all the pricing information started to come out, there was a big upset about digital games being priced at $80 and physical games being priced at $90.
This is a whole clusterfuck, right? Because it was like the conversion ratio, so people were looking at it saying it was one price or another.
And it wasn't even $80 and $90 exclusively. It was that all Switch 2 games were going to be $10 more for the physical editions. This is really important to get into because lots of Nintendo defenders are addressing this point as if it's YouTubers or content creators putting out misinformation. It's not. Nor did this pricing come from publications and journalists alone, even though they have made the same claims as well. It was Nintendo themselves who posted this $10 difference. On Nintendo's website for Spain, you can see here that the games are listed with a €10 increase over their digital counterparts. This is Nintendo's site. In Spain, allegedly, according to Nintendo, their games will cost €10 more to get the physical editions. It is not our fault for being concerned about this. It is not our fault for getting outraged here in the States about this. Because if it happens in Spain, why isn't it happening in the United States? What are the circumstances that games should be $10 more in price when they're physical copies? And if they're not going to be $90 here in the United States, why isn't Nintendo addressing this themselves? These are very important questions. This ties to that transparency discussion. Why is Nintendo leaving us in the dark? This isn't some rumor here. These prices...
Because if you don't talk about it, then it's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? if they don't say anything, then they're like, it'll just blow over.
Are posted on an official Nintendo website. Please explain them to us. But okay, let's continue with the assumption that all Switch 2 games will range between $70 and $80. Range here is important.
Yeah, $70, $80, and $90. The range. And yesterday we went over a report talking about how they're justifying how they think the game is, right? How big it is. Not because of budget, by the way, right? If the game costs $100 million to make, let's say, they're like, oh, to get our money back, we need to make it at this price point. No, they're saying that if it costs $40 million or $100 million, we think that people are going to play it for this long, so we're going to charge this price. The fuck?
Why is the Donkey Kong Bonanza game $10 less than Mario Kart? Is it shorter in duration? Is there less content? What's the reason behind it? Or flip it around. Why is Mario Kart $10 more than a mainline Donkey Kong title? This is confusing and doesn't make any sense. Are you just giving prices to things randomly, or is there logic here? As a customer of these things, I'd like to understand why things are priced the way that they are.
Because. That's why. That's why. Because. That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
That's the reason. Why is it priced between variable pricing?
Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
Furthering this pricing confusion, let's look at the Switch 2 editions of Switch 1 games. Nintendo is re-releasing games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Kirby Forgotten Land in a new Switch 2 box, and including new add-ons in the form of the Switch 2 upgrade pack.
Get this, right? You're gonna pay for the same game more money that's been out for 7 years?
With me here, because this is a lot to go over, and they've done a horrible job on explaining this. Let's look at Breath of the Wild here. This game came out in 2017 and has been played for hundreds of hours by hundreds of thousands of people. Last we saw, Breath of the Wild has accumulated over 32 million unit sales. That's a lot of sales. Nintendo is re-releasing this game for the Switch 2 with a price tag of $70. The game is almost 10 years old, and anyone who is going to play it...
Well, hold on. It's not 10 years old. It's like 6 or 7. Calm down.
Probably already has. $70 is a...
Right. It's sold 32 million units, and the people that have bought it have probably have. He's 100% correct there, right? Let's listen to him again.
Is re-releasing this game for the Switch 2 with a price tag of $70. The game is almost 10 years old, and anyone who is going to play it probably already has.
Right. The people that are going to play it, they probably already own it. They probably already bought it, and now 32 million people that bought it, right? Is that what he said? 32 million? 35, whatever it was? If they want to play it now on their Switch 2, they're getting an additional $10 out of each one of those people.
$70 is a lot of money for this old game. And if we read the fine print here, we'll see that inside of this Switch 2 box is a Switch 1 game.
Includes the Nintendo Switch game and the Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade. Upgrade pack also available separately. For details, visit the Nintendo Switch. Okay. So can I just play my Zelda without the upgrade on the Nintendo Switch 2, or do I have to upgrade? I'm assuming you can just play it, right? I would hope you could play it.
And the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade pack. What does that mean? And why isn't Nintendo explaining it to us better? Because what that looks like it means is when you buy one of these re-released games, you're getting a Switch 1 cartridge and a download code for the Switch 2 upgrade pack. Nowhere online do we see any information actually confirming what's in the box. So even with this fine print on the front, it's kind of meaningless. If this is true and these...
It's 30 frames without the upgrade. Do you hear how stupid that is, Gaming Fire? If I put that game in the new hardware, the hardware should upgrade the thing. Right? Like if I have a game on my PC, okay? And let's say I have a 1080 Ti. But now I upgrade to a 3060 Ti. I don't have to download anything. The game's going to run better frames because of the graphics card I have in the actual machine. Right? So if I upgrade my hardware, the game should run better.
old games are just old games with DLC codes inside, GameStop is cooked. The used marketplace will suffer greatly, but more so, the reason to buy physical copies at all will be a moot point. You may own the plastic box, but you're not actually getting the full physical copy of your games. It's for reasons like this, plus the $10 increase to physical editions we're seeing in
They literally made the problem and sold the solution. The game should run better on their new hardware, regardless if you get the upgrade or not.
Spain that I have to wonder, is Nintendo trying to kill physical editions altogether? There's one more piece of this to back up the physical edition market being affected idea. Game key cards. Nintendo is making a big deal lately about how some Switch 2 games
Sarge says you're paying for the upgrade, even though the game is the same with the pay wallet. Well, you could play it. If you don't buy the upgrade edition for $10, Sarge, you're just getting the same game on your system. You're playing it. But if you want the upgrade, it's locked behind a paywall. Yes.
games are going to come with this disclaimer on the box that what you're buying is a game key card, that inside the box is not a complete edition of your game, but instead the full game will be downloaded via internet required. I know this isn't new, and that there are a handful of games that work like this on the Switch 1, but for Nintendo to be making...
You mean, Jones, where they could just give you the $10? You mean as a loyal customer that you purchased the Zelda game and played, that they couldn't just give you the $10 version of the game because you purchased a brand new Nintendo Switch 2? They have to nickel and dime you for $10 to get a better experience? They couldn't just give that to you?
Making such a fuss about it right now, it makes me question the implications behind it. Why is this so important to advertise? Why focus on explaining this to us, but not giving us the full picture on game pricing or the true valuation of the upgrade packs? Why spend so much time explaining the Switch 2 camera and C button that no one wants instead of telling us about the things that actually matter? This focus on the game key card
Is the level of public criticism and disinterest in the Switch 2 fair? Yes, 100%. Take Nintendo out of the picture. Insert company name there. Is it the criticism fair? Yes. Yes, you as a customer have every right to tell your concerns of what it is, because you are the customer, right? If Nintendo wants to sell 100 million units and 50 million of the 100 million people that will buy their system, okay, don't want to buy your system, well, you better believe that company better listen if they want to sell 100 million units. If they don't want to sell 100 million units, then by all means, just go for that smaller percentile. You'll be fine.
makes me think that pretty soon we're going to see mainline IP games like Zelda or Pokemon perhaps as game key.
El Nini says, 30, is this the start of the fall of Nintendo? No. This is the... Look, there is a reason that I've been calling Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
Okay? They've been Crazy Uncle Nintendo my entire childhood. I am 46 years old now. I've been calling him Crazy Uncle Nintendo for about 20, almost 30 years because they do what they want. Okay? This is not a thing that just came out of nowhere. Nintendo does what it wants. The song says it, okay? When they go left, everyone goes right, they go left. When everyone goes up, they go down, okay? When everyone's making cartridges, they make CDs. When everyone's doing high-end graphics, they're doing low-end graphics, okay? They're completely the opposite, and this is what they do. This is not the downfall of them. They've made the GameCube. They made the Wii U. The Wii U is the lowest-selling console in the history of all Nintendo, and guess what? They're still here. They'll be fine. If the Nintendo Switch 2 bombs, and it is the Wii U of this generation, it doesn't matter. Do you know why? They sold 155 million units of the Switch, and they sold 67 million units of Mario Kart Deluxe. Okay? They sell so much software on their consoles. Okay? Double. Everyone always says a 2-to-1, 2-to-1, PlayStation to Xbox, 2-to-1, 2-to-1. Nintendo, 2-to-1, PlayStation, 4-to-1 to Xbox. They sell a shit ton of consoles. They sell a shit ton of software. They're fine. Crazy Uncle Nintendo.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo. Started way back in 1889. Hanafuda cards, oh, the designs were fine. From toys to games, they paved their own way. Crazy Uncle Nintendo, doing it their way. Duck Hunt, Zappers, 8-bit gold. Mario's magic stories untold. From NES to the Game Boy's glow, always ahead, stealing the show. Crazy Uncle Nintendo, marching to their beat. While Sony and Microsoft compete, they don't follow trends, they rewrite the play. Switch 2's coming and it's here to stay.
Okay? Nintendo does what Nintendo does.
Cards, internet required titles. It's like they're prepping us. It's also insane when you consider that Cyberpunk 2077, which is massive, coming in around 64 gigabytes, can possibly fit on a cartridge, but Bravely Default can't. Who is telling the truth here? My friends, this brings us into discussing...
I missed what he said there. Let me go back here.
They're prepping us. It's also insane when you consider that Cyberpunk 2077, which is massive, coming in around
64 gigs on the Switch.
4 gigabytes, can possibly fit on a cartridge, but Bravely Default can't.
So true. They can fit Cyberpunk on a cartridge, but this one can't. Interesting.
Who is telling the truth here? My friends, this brings us into discussing the ramifications of charging $80 for Switch 2 games. Clearly, this whole pricing thing is a mess, but the concept of charging $80 for a video game, at least outright, is baffling. There's actually a huge difference between something like Kirby and the Forgotten Lands versus...
You want to know a conspiracy that I just came up with in my head? I kind of said this on GXG on Thursday, right? Sarge asked me, why do I think they're going to sell more Switch 1s? There's a push here, right? They're so close to beating Sony for #1 console of all time for the PlayStation 2. They're so close, right? And making the problem being the Switch 2 being too expensive, okay, makes people think that I can go buy a Switch 1. And they'll push people to go buy a Switch 1, which will then push up the Switch 1 past the point where they'll be the #1 console sold, okay, and beating PlayStation for the overall top spot. And then they'll have 1 and 3, which will be the Switch, then it'll be the PlayStation 2, and then it'll be the 3DS or the DS?
Mario Kart World. See, Kirby is the best-selling Kirby game in the franchise, and what you're getting in the $80 Switch 2 edition is the full original Switch game, but also allegedly $20 worth of new content. With that game, it's like getting the season pass with it, so it's a little different, and I wish they did a better job of explaining that. But at least I can understand it. If you don't own...
Well, right. At least that's giving you the DLC and stuff, right? They're adding the DLC to at least the Forgotten Lands.
Kirby already, you can buy this version, which comes with a season pass DLC. That's fine. Mario Kart World, on the other hand, doesn't get off so easily. The market price for AAA games is $69.99. That's already too much in the eyes of most gamers, Nintendo or not.
They sold 67.7 million copies of Mario Kart Deluxe. And they went, you know what? We need to make more money. So let's charge $10 to $20 more for this one game.
That's a lot of money, especially when you don't know if you're going to enjoy the thing you're buying. For Nintendo to choose now to increase prices on baseline games, not including DLC like Kirby does, it makes me say, you're killing the video game market. If people are already uncomfortable and unhappy paying $70 for games, raising it up to $79.99 is going to deter lots and lots of people from buying those games altogether. I don't care that it's Mario Kart. This is not consumer friendly. But see,
it's not.
It's just Mario.
But, you know, they have to raise the prices. You know, to keep their lights on.
Kart today, what about tomorrow? Will Pokemon Legends ZA be $80? Will Metroid? Can you trust that they won't be? Nintendo is still hiding right now, and even more interesting here, Switch 1 games are almost all still $59.99. Like right now. Most of the Switch 1 games are priced at $60.
That's right. All of them are $60 right now. But for some reason, they have to charge $80 now.
Still expensive, but there's enough of a value.
Last time I checked, and again, they don't really share but their games on Nintendo don't cost as much as games that cost for Xbox and PlayStation for their first-party titles.
proposition there. You're much more comfortable spending $60 versus $70. It's a balanced transaction. Why is Mario Kart World $20 more than its predecessor? And what kind of implications?
Yeah, but the perceived value of what the Switch 1 is at the 300, 350, okay, with the games at $60, you could just go, you know what, I paid this much for the system. The system seems like a fair price, and the games seem like a fair price for that system. But now you're charging $100 more, okay, if not $150 more, and you're charging $15 to $20 more for the games.
Are being put on the marketplace as a whole. Will the next World of Warcraft expansion bump up to $80? Will the next Call of Duty be $99? Everyone has been talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 with the fear it will set a precedent for games to be priced higher. Nintendo just kicked in the door. $80 for Mario Kart just sent a shockwave across the entire world that all video games can be priced higher. And if people buy this, it will confirm this precedent. Now, I'd like to address a series of arguments I've seen floating around the internet about this price increase, because there have been a series of terrible arguments that just defends Nintendo at a time where all of this is corporate greed. Everything we've discussed so far is
100% corporate greed, right? We understand that corporations need to make money, but when you're making, I don't know, let's say 80% margin, 60% margin, and they want to make that more, but they're making plenty now.
Is just corporate greed on full display. Number one, games were more expensive in the 90s, so they're okay to raise the price now. No, it's not okay, right?
No. And here's the thing. Why do I give a shit what the price... And I lived it, okay? We talk about it as, yeah, I paid for a game back then at $80. We're talking about the standard now, $80. And someone that brings up the past and says, well, it cost that much back then. I paid my hard-earned money back then. First of all, let's cut the bullshit. You were a kid back then. Those of you that are in your 40s, I'm 46, right? You didn't pay for your own fucking games back then. You begged mom or dad or grandma or grandpa to get you those games. And when you were old enough to buy the actual game, you were nickel and diming yourself to try to make sure you got to, split it with a friend, share it, game, whatever, right? You were not paying $80 for a game unless it was that one game you really wanted, maybe a Grand Theft Auto, maybe a Zelda, okay? But the game was actually... There's batteries in it. There's chips in it. There was actual hardware in the actual cartridge. Okay. And why do I give a shit back then today? I'm not living then now. I'm living now.
Right now, this photo and many like it keep floating around.
Yeah, I love this. Well, the games were $60. Yeah, look at the big fucking price tag of the console back then. Right? Let's take that and perceive that. Okay. The system was $150, and the game was $60. Okay, great. So now the system is $500. So what are you trying to tell me? That the game is supposed to be $400? Or I'm sorry, if the system is $150 and it was $60, yeah. So if it was $400, so it's going to be like $250 per game? Get the fuck out of here.
On Twitter, saying that games were so much more expensive in the 90s and that we should just shut up and pay what we have to now. But the circumstances then were extraordinarily different.
Yeah. Let's look at this again, okay? These were made individually. These are one of 10,000? One of 10,000 games made? One of 20,000? One of 100,000 games made? There is digital games now, meaning printing money. Endless copies can come out. There was less people buying video games back then, okay? I was one of 4 million people in 1984, okay, to get the console, okay? Or what is it, 85? Nobody played video games back then. Nobody. You talked video games, are like staring at you like you're speaking gibberish. Yeah, I was playing Mario. Be like, what? What is Mario? Oh, is that thing with the gun I saw on the television thing? You play games? Fucking nerd. Why don't you do something better with your life? Fucking nerd. Yeah, I remember those days. Bet you guys don't. Because by the time you guys started playing games, if you're in your 30s or late 20s now, gaming was cool then.
Different Firstly, that $80 plus got you a physical game with a physical chip inside and the box and manuals. There was a
That's right, Nate. I feel you. We know how it was.
full package there. The physical production costs around these games were significantly more impactful at the time. It was more expensive to make an N64 game than it is to make a Blu-ray disc today. So production is not the issue. Also, the development teams were smaller, the industry was smaller, it was harder to break even, the buyer's market was ridiculously smaller compared to today. None of that is applicable right now. The video game industry is bigger than Hollywood and the American music industry combined.
That's right. Let's rewind what he just said. Let's rewind a little bit what he just said.
Impactful at the time. It was more expensive to make an N64 game than it is to make a Blu-ray disc today. So production is not the issue. Also, the development teams were smaller, the industry was smaller, it was harder to break even, the buyer's market was ridiculously smaller compared to today. None of that is applicable.
Anybody that brings up, tell me you didn't play video games when you're younger. Tell me that you pretend to play video games when you were younger, okay? Because very few people played video games when they were younger. They played them when they were in their late teen or early teens, later in life, because back then, your family probably was working 2 jobs. Mom and dad each had a job. Maybe mom and dad had each maybe 2 jobs, okay? Scrounging by, trying to make a living.
Right now. The video game industry is bigger than Hollywood and the American music industry combined.
Right. And now the video game industry is combined. All of those other industries combined. And they're like, well, they got to keep the lights on. It costs more money to make it, even though they're literally just printing discs in digital heaven.
Games are accessible because there is a Switch console in every 1 out of 3 houses in the United States. That's how much the Switch has penetrated the U.S. market. 1 in 3. There's no reason to compare today's prices to the 90s.
Argus says you played sports or you played video games. Or you were emo. Those were the male categories. I played sports and video games. That's what I did.
When the industry was just getting into the deep end of the pool. Number 2, it's inflation. No, it's not. And this is one of the most annoying points that people keep making, that game prices are going up because of inflation. Well, if you go by those numbers that keep floating around, games should be something like...
What did he say there? Hold on. I missed it, what he said there.
No reason to compare today's prices to the 90s, when the industry was just getting into the deep end of the pool. Number 2, it's inflation. No, it's not.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
This is one of the most annoying points that people keep making, that game prices are going up because of inflation. Well, if you go by those numbers that keep floating around, games should be something like $130 if you were going by the inflation numbers, right? Well, let me ask you this. Would you pay $130 for video games? Not one specific...
No. No. No one would pay $130 for video games, and the industry knew that back then. But now, for some fucking reason, we have people going, well, if you want good games, you gotta pay $130.
Not just one type of game. Would you pay $130 market price for games? The answer should be overwhelmingly no. So inflation is not true because it's not true to the actual inflation rate. And more importantly, value proposition and willingness to pay. Inflation rate is just a number. Has the value of the games increased? Are you getting more game for your buck now? No? I certainly don't.
I'll tell you what. You dum-dums out there, okay? You dum-dums out there, go ahead and pay $90 for the video game. All right? You go out there and pay the $100, $120, $130, and you pay for the rest of us, okay? You show them, you show me that you go pay those big prices, and I'll just wait for it to go on sale. Do you know why? Because I don't need to pay something brand new. I don't need to buy something at full price ever. Ever. I don't go to the supermarket I don't walk into the supermarket and go, hey, can you point me to the most expensive thing in the store? No, you're looking up and down the supermarket going, what's on sale? 2 for 1, BOGO, 3 for 1, 4 for 5, whatever the fuck it is, okay? You're looking for sales. You don't go to the car dealership and go, give me your most expensive car. I don't care what the price is. Unless you're in the 1 percentile where you don't give a shit because you make more money than you know what to God, right? You're just blowing money left and right. You're going into a company, you're trying to buy and save money. For some reason, people that play video games lost that effect. They're like, no, whatever it tells us. Did you guys know you could go to Best Buy and bargain for a price? I bet you none of you guys knew that. I bet you go to Target. Did you know that's a suggested retail price? Suggested. You could literally walk up to a manager and go, I'll give you $30 for this. And they'll be like, Well, no, it's $50. Yeah, but I'm going to give you 30 right now. Okay? You could do that. Okay? That's the suggested retail price.
Don't think so, especially from Nintendo. All of these games are the same thing over and over. That doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's the exact same thing with a fresh coat of yellow paint, which means the value of the item hasn't increased. Okay. Then, willingness to pay. Are you willing to pay more money for these things? Because that trumps inflation 10 times out of 10. If they put Knack 3 up there for $130, what is your willingness to pay for that? 0%. It better be 0%.
Right. It should be 0%.
Same thing. Inflation could say that games should cost over $100, but if the market isn't willing to pay that price, the price comes down to match what buy.
Here's a perfect example. My stream is worth $10 a month. Are you going to pay $10 a month to watch me? No. No, you're not. That's why it's fucking free. That's why it's free. And if you're entertained, you pay what you think. And if you don't ever want to pay me a cent, you just want to watch and hit that like button, that's what you do.
Buyers are willing to spend. That's part of the free market speaking. Number 3, it's more expensive to make games now. Not really. No, not for Nintendo anyway. Most Nintendo games cost around $50 million to develop. Some would be more than that, like the Legend of Zelda games, but Mario Tennis, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, even the Mario Party games, these are not technical wonders here. These are modest $50 million plus to develop, not $400 million like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Right. Their games cost less than $50 million to make. Meanwhile, Red Dead Redemption, $400 million.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 cost $400 million to make, and it is currently selling right now for $59.99. Nintendo doesn't have any games.
How? How do they sell a game for $59.99? They got to keep the lights on.
That rival that, and they're charging $20 more for Mario Kart World, which will not at all have the technical features of Red Dead 2.
There's no horse testicles in Mario. Does Mario have balls? Do they shrink and grow in the heat and cold? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Many of you forget Nintendo makes billions of dollars every year. Billions with a capital B. They are the juggernaut in the games marketplace, and their game development costs are nothing next to almost every other company. The $80 games are entirely greed. Number 4, it's the Trump tariffs that raise the price. That's not true at all. That's not true at all, and it was confirmed today by Doug Bowser himself. The prices for these systems and games were raised before the tariffs were put in place. The tariffs are still very much up in the air. We do not know how everything is going to be ironed out.
That's right. The tariffs weren't to blame. Said by the actual company itself. Sarge says, first of all, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Says, I would pay, this chat is hilarious, $10 is the deal. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Eclipse says, I forgot to pay this over the weekend. Here's my member chat for 18 months. I appreciate that, Eclipse. Thank you very much. You get a round of applause as well. Appreciate you.
Or how it will impact us. Number 5 is a response to a comment I got on my last video. Quote, I'm not poor or cheap. I don't care how much it costs.
Robert Jones says, wait, I can't watch for free? I mean, you can. You can. Thank you very much for the 25 months. Thank you very much for the 25 months, man. That's over 2 years. That's over 2 years.
Buddy, you are a moron. I'm not cheaper or
Hold on,
cheap.
I missed
Number
what he said.
5 is a response to a comment I got on my last video. Quote, I'm not poor or cheap. I don't care how much it costs. Buddy, you are a moron. I'm not cheap. Cheap or poor. No, you're an asshole. Just
Who is he talking to? Hold on. Who is he talking to when he says that?
how everything is going to be ironed out or how it will impact us. Number 5 is a response to a comment I got on my last video. Quote, I'm not poor or cheap. I don't care how much it costs. Buddy, you are a moron. I'm not cheap or poor. No, you're an asshole. Just because you got it figured out and money is no object to you doesn't mean
Oh, man, that's great.
the entire gaming hobby should go belly up, okay? Not everyone's got mommy and daddy's trust fund. Lots of us out here need to work extremely hard to rub 2 nickels together. Not wanting to spend $80 on a video game doesn't make you poor or cheap in theory, though you'd become poorer from buying all these overpriced games. Number 6, who cares? It's just Mario Kart that's more money. We kind of addressed this earlier. This is a foolish point because
I love the people that just move the goalpost for what it is. right? Instead of having just a problem with video games being $80, like, oh well, you're broke. It's that you just don't know how to spend money, or it's the game is just it's just Mario Kart. Well, it's just Nintendo, right? Just keep moving it. Just keep moving it. There's the goalpost. Let's move it around here. We'll put it right here. We'll put it right here. We'll put my face right between the goalposts here. Okay.
You're letting them off the hook. This company here is trying to screw us all over, and we could blindly go along with it or stand our ground and probably don't buy it. It's Mario Kart today that's charging $80. But tomorrow, it's the next Call of Duty. It's the next Bethesda title. Game Pass goes up. PlayStation Network goes up. Steam games go up too. Mario Kart's pricing will ripple across the entire industry. And that's only if people gobble this up. Getting to the end here, there are some outstanding miscellaneous points that I want to tie up. Firstly, and connecting to something I said earlier, I believe this GameCube emulator, which is paywalled behind both the Switch 2 and...
It's behind a $50 paywall to play the Nintendo GameCube games.
An NSO subscription is software that could have been released years ago. I believe that they've had this completed, and they were specifically holding this to put it behind the Switch 2 as a way to increase the value of the Switch 2.
Yes.
Meaning, this is supposed to help sweeten the deal. Instead of releasing the software however long ago, now it's an incentive to buy this new console. I don't like that. That feels like dirty sales. It's like buying a car and they put the $300 floor mats in the car you're buying. Like, I should be able to get that on my own terms. In my own way. Next, the price of the welcome tour. The tech demo explaining how to use
this is fucking hilarious. The welcome tour, which is to give you a tour about the machine that you bought, is an additional $10 on top of. They don't even throw this into the actual Switch itself to teach you how to use the Switch. Like, what?
The console is paywalled. This game doesn't even look good. This looks boring and nothing like Astro's Playroom. And the fact that it's going to cost a confirmed $10 is just absurd. You mean I need to buy a $500 console and then pay more money to get the tech demo explaining how the console works? What kind of corporatist nonsense is that? And furthering that, this entire thing is corporate greed from top to bottom. Nintendo is not a poor company. They make billions every year. And I'm thinking of all the parents and grandmothers.
They're one of the most successful companies ever.
Who go to buy their kids and grandkids games only to find that there are some games for $60 and some for $80. Do they know what the differences are? This script is almost 8 pages long, and I can't even explain what all the differences are. So yeah, most people will continue with the Switch 1 versions of games because they don't know any different. Which leads to the business equation, though. When you put the price tag up to $80, yeah, some people will buy it. Some people will buy every title Nintendo releases regardless of the price. Right. But when games were at $60, you might have had 3 people buy it on one day in a Target. Well, 60 times 3 is $180 in sales. And now, at a price point of $80, maybe only one of those people buy that.
That's exactly right. But see, what he's bringing up there, I brought up in the past. If it's $60, you sell 3. If it's $80, you sell 1. But that 1, in the long term, they're like, well, if we get 2, we can weather the storm. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they could do that consistently, if one person a day comes in out of 3 people that come in that would have bought the thing for $60, and now one person's paying for $80, they're like, well, we could get by.
Game, which means you get one sale for $80. That's $100 loss.
Right, they lost $100, right? So they need at least 2. They need 2 of the 3.
And 2 less customers. Nintendo, in their avarice, is killing their sales volume. Now, if Nintendo wants to do that, fine. But you're going to see every company begin to charge more money for their games, and the exact same thing is going to happen. You're going to see sales volume decrease, and many companies are going to hurt from this. Yep. Lots of jobs will be lost. And if the industry collapses because of it, you might see, and hopefully we see, a dawn of AA Renaissance game.
I think that will happen. I also think the more I think about this, the more I believe that Nintendo will lower the price of the systems. I don't know if it's going to be like tomorrow, but they will lower the price of the Nintendo because they have to get that's the key. That's the key. If you own a Switch 1 right now, they need you to upgrade to a Switch 2. Okay? They need you to upgrade to a Switch 2. And if you don't upgrade to a Switch 2, then they've lost you as a customer. Because now they've protected their Switch 2 where the games only work on the Switch 2. So they have to entice you to come over to Switch 2. They already have a baked in audience with the 155 million units of the Switch 1. But now they have to try to entice you to get the Switch 2. If they don't get you over there, well, that's a loss. Okay? So how do they keep you from coming over? Well, they're either going to give you really good deals for trade-ins, or they're going to give you a price drop of that because they need you to get a Switch 2 to get into the ecosystem of the Switch 2 games. They will keep the price where it is for the games, but they need you to get the key to get into the kingdom, which is the console itself.
In conclusion, I hope my words have landed with you at least a little bit. There are lots of factors here, and there are lots of variables we still don't know, but I want to encourage you to realize that this all ends when you say it ends. This is your marketplace. $80 games should be the cutoff point for us as customers. We should actively reject this. And it's easy. You just don't buy it. Don't buy the new system. Don't buy the new games. I won't be. Nintendo has earned a spot on the list of companies I won't buy from anymore. Aren't you at least a little tired of mega corporations shoving us around, and we blindly slurp up the milkshake they keep serving even though we know it's very bad for us? This is it. This is your moment to stand up for something, damn it. When is enough enough for you? At what point will you finally be forced to take a stand? When games are $150, is that it? Or we do something right now and hit them where it hurts. Their bottom line. Get them in the wallets. And it's happened before. The 3DS, the Wii U.
Yep.
It can happen again. Screw Nintendo. And until next time, create, innovate, inspire, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus. Damn.
That's good. I liked it. I've never watched this stuff before. That was a good video. Yeah. As El Nini says, vote with your wallets, right? Quintar says the same thing. Vote with your wallet. Yeah. Like, it's mind-boggling to me. Look, there are going to be people that buy the system. But is there enough? Robert Jones says up here, they don't care about the sales volume as much as they care about the profits. If they aren't making the profit, then they will drop the price. Correct. That's what I said. Okay? The volume that they sell gives them profit. If they're not selling, they lose the profit. Well, they need to sell that. Well, how are they going to do that? They're going to have to drop the key to the kingdom, which is the console. The console right now is a turnoff for the people in that Nintendo Switch era. Okay? Now, see, Nintendo's trying to at least in my perspective, okay, going to the next article here, okay, which is, where the fuck is it? Okay, look at this. Look at this heading. Okay, look at this heading. Switch 2 is not aimed at people who want high-performance hardware, Nintendo says. Well, that's kind of weird. If it's not for high performance, then where are they going with the price? Right? Because the selling points seem like they're going for the high-end people because they're bringing third parties in. They're going for the 4K. They're going for the 60 frames, 120 frames. But they're not trying to get to the high-performance hardware for people? Well, who's your market then? Right? If your market's the non-high-end performance hardware people, well, you're going in the wrong thing because one thing is saying one thing and the other is saying the other. Where the people that are not high-performance people are just the people on your Switch 1 right now. But yet now you've raised the bar, and you've raised the price. So these people that don't care about performance and stuff like that, you're giving them performance, but you're also raised the price by $100. Okay? Before I get to this, make sure you guys check out The Real But Fake Wizard. The link's in the description down below. It's a good video. Check it out. We'll have a breakout video after. If you guys like what I do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Okay? If you like it, go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. We do live shows, uploads, shorts, podcasts. We have a podcast that we do on Thursday nights called Generation X Gaming. I've been doing it for like 10 years. Okay? Make sure you check it out. That's right. They're charging high performance prices for low performance hardware. So is he real or fake? He's a real fake wizard. Yeah, he's a real fake wizard. He's really fake. Yeah. All right. So let's go to this now. Okay. Let's go to this now. All right. The Switch 2, not aimed at people who want high-performance hardware, Nintendo says. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just have and read news articles or watch videos that give you my thoughts and opinions on these things. And if we get your thoughts and opinions after. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay, so Nintendo never considered making the Switch 2 a piece of high-performance hardware aimed at consumers who wanted beefier tech. That sounds so counterproductive, okay? Nintendo never considered making Switch 2 a piece of high-performance hardware aimed at consumers who wanted more powerful tech, okay? From Nintendo's Entertainment Planning and Development Department made the comments in part of the company's lengthy Q&A session following the Switch 2 Direct. Nintendo's representative asked them, also from the Entertainment Planning Development Department, why the team decided to call the system to Switch 2, okay? The team toyed with the idea of calling it the Super Nintendo Switch, but in addition to Nintendo's already having a system with Super as a descriptor, Super Nintendo, the team didn't want people to focus on the console specifics. Okay, Switch 2 is a new system with improved performance, but it also would like the players to get their hands on it, not to focus on the specs, yet come out with a thing talking about the specs. Makes sense, right? It makes sense. It says, so in hopes it becomes a new standard for Nintendo Switch, he named it the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, they expanded the comments by suggesting that focusing on the Switch 2's hardware improvements over the original system might alienate people who just want to play more Nintendo games. But you're alienating people by putting the new tech in the game and putting it $100 more. How do they not see this? How do they not see this? Okay. So from the beginning of development, we wanted the Switch 2 to be a system that could be enjoyed by a wide variety of players. So we basically priced out half the player base. They priced out half the player base. Interesting. I think more than half the player base. But whatever. Also wanted to create an experience that as many players as possible could enjoy rather than the experience made specially for those who prefer high-performance hardware. So we wanted the name that would also communicate simply to potential consumers that you're considering buying a Nintendo Switch 2 in the newest system. That said, Nintendo did build the Switch 2 with more power than the predecessor. During the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, Nintendo said that the console will support 60 frames for games for such as Metro Prime 4, which includes HDR, even the handheld mode, that is addition to the improved speakers and support of 3D audio. Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th for $450. Nintendo will also open Switch 2 pre-orders on April 9th. Okay? So again, they didn't want a high-performance hardware, but yet they went up $100 and put high-performance from Switch 1 to Switch 2. I'm a little confused by this. Okay? I do believe that, yes, they will sell. Okay? If they thought you know what? Let me look it up real fast. What did a Nintendo Switch 1 sell the first year? Let's see. Nintendo Switch 1. Okay, in the first year, Nintendo Switch released on March 7th, or March of 2017, sold approximately 13.12 million units worldwide. That's huge. That's everything the Wii U sold in its lifetime they made in the first year of Nintendo Switch. Okay, it came out March 3rd. Okay. So they made basically what the Wii U made in its first year in just the Nintendo Switch. I believe, again, this is just my thought process, I think they get less than half that sales the first year of the Switch. Comes out in June, okay? I think at the end of the year, or within the first 365, not just 2025, I think they only get about 6.5 to 7 million, which is just a little bit more than half of what they sold of the Nintendo Switch 1 in 2017. Just because of the price hike from $100, from $350 to $450, or even up to $500 with the bundle. Okay, obviously the bundle's going to sell out real fast. If they lower that price, in my opinion, back to what the other Nintendo was, $350, $400, which I said before we even knew the price of this, months and months ago, they would hit that price point, which, because when the other handhelds come out, it's going to hurt this system even more. Okay? Unless you're just a diehard Nintendo fan, only getting the Nintendo first-party games, you're not getting a Nintendo for the third-party games, right? The diehards that are buying this system up front are not just Nintendo fans, they're gaming fans, meaning they already own either a ROG Ally, a Steam Deck, they're going to own the next whatever system of the Asus that does with the Xbox. They own a PlayStation, or they own a PC, or they own an Xbox. They own one of these, if not multiple of these other ones, for the people that are going to buy this up front first. Okay? Everybody else, the normies, all right, the normies that, Mom, I want a Nintendo Switch too, and they're like, they'll wait for the holidays, and that's when the increase will happen, but it's still going to be way, way short of what this first one did. We could have another incident, because it's like a perfect storm right now, right? It's that Nintendo's trying to come out with something before anybody else. But Xbox and Steam might be working on something with Asus that comes out with a handheld. There's other handhelds in the market. They're not by themselves anymore, okay? 2, the price point and the price of the games. If this is the new standard, less people are going to not buy games at this price point. They're going to buy one game at that price point and wait for other games to go on sale. And the problem with Nintendo is they don't go on sale. And they don't go on sale for reasons, because they know their clientele will buy it. Well, their clientele is going to be cut in half, at least in the first year. And they're not going to make the sales. Now, obviously, Mario Kart's going to sell, because if they sell 7 million units, they're going to sell 7 million units of Mario Kart, because that's what everybody wants. Okay? But then it's going to slow down because of that $80 price tag. So again, in my opinion, they have to lower the price, get the key low enough to get people into the ecosystem. If they don't do that, they're going to have a hell of a time this round with the Nintendo Switch 2. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section or in the live chat. Do you think Nintendo is going to have another hit on their hands here? Now, just to put it in perspective, they had the N64, then they had the GameCube. Okay, the GameCube didn't sell very well. It was a failure, but still sold. Okay, it was a failure, though, compared to the other ones. Then they had the Wii, and then they had the Wii U, which only sold 13 million, and then they had the Switch, and then they had the Switch 2. Do you think the Switch 2 will be a Wii U? Do you think it'll be a GameCube? Or do you think it'll be as popular as the Switch 1? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see here. Sin says, man, you extremely late to the party. When games went from $50 to $60, I bought significantly less titles per year. You're all just finally getting hip to the racket. Sarge says, hit that like button. Super Nintendo's Switch was the best name. By far, it would have been the best name. And the color scheme, if they made the same color scheme as the Super NES, that would have been great. But you want to charge the price for the high-performance console. That's why I don't understand Eclipse, right? They don't want to make a high performance, but they charge for the high performance. If this is a $400, it would also have been instant buy from me. But now, I want a handheld just to get the Steam Deck. Right. And that's why I said the high point should have been $400. I was on record. I said $350 to $400 is what they should have sold it for. It would have flew off the shelves. Flew off the shelves. Bundle should have been $400. Regular one should have been $350. That poster of Thunderbolts looks like a picture of a homeless crazy person. Oh, you're talking about this in the corner? Yeah. Yeah. That's Marvel in a snapshot what it is right now. Roadkill says, hit the fucking like button. All right, whoa. I appreciate it. Listen to Roadkill. Roadkill's got his own song. Okay?
When the stream is live, the chat's on fire. The Roadkill drops in, lifting us higher. He's the hype train, the spark, the fuel, saying I rule, you're cool at Xbox rules. Hit that like, don't miss your cue. Support the stream, it's what we do. Roadkill leads with a laugh so bright, making every stream feel just right. I rule.
you go. So listen to Roadkill, okay? Okay, hit the like button. The clip says, wasn't the first member song? It was either him or Travis. It was Roadkill, and then it was Travis, and then it was Mo, and then it was Water Bear, but it wasn't about Water Bear. It was about Sarge. Oh no, there's Hilly in there as well. Hilly was after, I think after Travis. I think he was after Travis. Is it about sanding cabinets? No, it's not. It is not about that. By the way, on the Steam Deck, you can also play PC games, even from the PlayStation 3 era and today's era. You also could use Nintendo's emulator. Just saying. RMAT, we understand what you're saying. Let's see. Roadkill, PlayStation rules, Xbox rules, $5. Thank you very much. I told you I'd make a song about it. We did. I said, that's a cool saying. We're going to PlayStation rules and Xbox rules, and you're cool. Thank you very much for the $5. All right, so we're done there. We got that out. We did that. We did that video. We did that one. We did the MLB The Show one. All right, the next one. We kind of brought this up in just a passing. There's not a lot of news about it. Okay. We tried to bring it up to Sarge the other day, but he didn't take the bait. He's just like, I'm not interested. So upcoming Star Wars turn-based tactic game to be titled Star Wars Zero Company. You can make the jokes. The jokes already, if that's the name of the actual game, Star Wars Zero Company, and it doesn't sell well, the jokes just write themselves. Right? They just write themselves. So last month, Lucasfilm Game announced that it would also be getting the first look at the Star Wars turn-based tactic game, the upcoming Star Wars Celebration, set to be held in Japan later this month. Okay, while info about the is revealed that the game will also be co-developed by Respawn Entertainment and Bit Reactor. Respawn and Bit Reactor Star Wars tactic game now has a title. Okay, according to the information we uncovered during the recent investigation. Upcoming Star Wars turn-based tactic game has Respawn Entertainment Bit Reactor to publish by Electronic Arts, will be titled Star Wars Zero Company. Okay, the game is set to be officially revealed at Star Wars Celebration Japan on April 19th, 2025. In our early report, we're also mentioned that the project is internally known as Bruno. The MP first uncovered very first, never before seen, in-engine screenshots mid-2023. The images showed an isometric tactical view featuring party of characters, including 2 Mandalorians and a droid taking cover in the stormtroopers during a prisoner rescue mission, as well as the hub. Okay, so expect more details. So we have some screenshots here. So there's one of the screenshots. I don't know if that's the actual one, right? We have this one as well. We have that. Okay, we saw that the other day. We have, so it's like XCOM-esque, maybe like Marvel's Midnight Suns type of stuff. I don't think there's cards, though, right? It's not gritty. It's not grid-based. It's more of free roam type of movement. You know what I'm saying? You got different characters. Okay. Armory, holo tables, special ops, and black market. So you got like a home base type of thing like you did in XCOM. You can continue. You have characters. You have load options. I wonder how many microtransactions are going to be in this. This is EA, by the way. This is EA. Okay, so there you go. Star Wars Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. I guarantee you that's why they labeled it. We don't talk about Bruno. No. I believe that's exactly why they labeled it what they did. Like, I'm Star Wars me, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm intrigued by it, but cynical, distraught. Like, I'm not excited. I got to see more. The gameplay, I got to see gameplay. I got to see how it works. I want to see if there's another Star Wars game where I can't be fucking Darth Vader, or I can't be Luke Skywalker, or I can't be people from that era, then I don't really want it, to be honest. Okay? If you're making a game that's set in the era of the Mando, okay, where Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, and all the characters from those Disney Plus shows, I'm not interested, okay? Unless the gameplay is really fun and the game seems like it's fun. But if it's those cast of characters and I can't play other characters, okay, or you put shitty characters in the game and then you charge me for Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader afterwards, I don't want it. Do you know what I mean? Now, I do understand that they do the cross-promotion. The cross-promotion meaning that you're doing the Mando because Mando movie's coming out in 2026, right? And you're trying to cross-promote and do these things. How'd that work out for you with the Star Wars Hotel? How'd that work out for you with the Galaxy's Edge? How'd that work out for you with your past Disney Plus shows? Not too well, right? Like, let us play scenarios. Let us play characters. And again, they could be doing this, right? But someone else, I think, said this a couple weeks ago, a couple days ago. I think it was Krebsy, okay? Krebsy said, where's the Bad Batch? Put the Bad Batch in there. Let us do missions, Bad Batch. Let us do missions. Like, put me on Andor, okay? Let me be Han and Leia and Luke in Andor trying to get into the base. Set up that moment, okay? Let us be the stormtroopers invading on Hoth and try to get into that base, okay? Let us do the battle, the galactic battle inside of space, right? Put moments in the movies inside this and also have other things on top of that. But if it's just fundamentally just on the new Mando, Bo-Katan era after the Clone Wars, after it's like during the actual show of Mando, man, it's not going to do very well. And if you want to do that, toss it out. I mean, you did it with Bounty Hunter, right? The Bounty Hunter game, or Hunters, whatever it was called, Star Wars Hunters. It's closed. It's done. Put a pin in it, okay? Because you made a game, a hero shooter, but yet you didn't put any heroes in the actual shooter. You made up characters and put them in instead of putting actual characters in the actual game that people wanted to play. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think of this new Bit Reactor game? What do you think of this new Respawn tactical Star Wars game called Zero Company? Because it might have Zero Company. No one might play this game if it's set in the wrong era. Again, my thoughts, let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me bring up what you guys are saying here. Robert Jones says, oh, man, I thought this was going to be a RTS. Roadkill says, man, lose tools in my pocket every day. I look for them. Robert Jones says they are just going down the list of genres. RTS will be next. Let's see. Eclipse says, I'm kind of excited about this. I love XCOM. It's one of my favorite franchises ever, so out there, probably top 10 for me. Do you get more money from a gifted or from a super chat? I don't know. I think it's this. I think it's super chat. I think it's super chat. I think it's 70. You know what? I have to look it up. Hold on. Let me look it up real fast. Let's see what the answer is here. There's no difference. The cut on YouTube takes from super chat revenue, whether it's from regular super chat or super chat gifted to another user, is YouTube takes 30%. So it's the same. It's the same. So if you gift or super chat, you get 70%. Travis says it's probably going to be that 30. It's sad. Zia says it's like Desperado or Shadow Tactics. That could be cool. I just don't want it to be in that one stuck era. Make it like Battlefront 2, where you have all the different eras that you can play in, and I think that would be cool. Travis says, I agree. 30, it needs to be big heroes, but imagine if they finally put Mara Jade. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. They need to just do a solo Darth Vader story game. It would sell billions. I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would. It's not if you said that years ago, Roadkill, I think you would be 100% correct. I think the brand is so tarnished and bad that I don't think it would now. Altern says zero. Star Wars zero company, more like Star Wars zero sales. Ayo. I'll give you -1 point. I'm going to give you -1 point for that joke. Roadkill says, oh, that's a lot, though. They take 30%. They're trillionaires. What are you going to do? 70% is better than zero. All right. That is that. There's a story here about the Marvels that says I already knew most of this that happened in the industry, right? So I don't want to read the article for what it is because I already know most of the stuff that's happening here. Okay, so the Marvels director says the MCU bombs final cut was not the movie that she pitched or the first version that she shot. Okay. And what happens here, okay, what happens here is that they hire a director as a stand-in, basically, right? They take that person's name, put it on the movie poster. They tell you who's directing it, but they're not actually directing anything. They actually have no say in anything that happens in the actual movie. They get very little actual artistry in making a movie. They're there. The previews, which are the previews that are already set way before they come in, okay, which is basically all the CGI early on stuff is already done. They already know what's happening. They bring the director in to, get the close-ups, work with the actors and whatnot, and then they piece it together. But they're told what to direct. They don't actually get to direct, okay? So it says DaCosta, who many readers may also recognize as the director of 2021 Candyman reboot, revealed that the alleged switch-up for her original creative vision of Carol Danvers' latest outlining while speaking to attendees of the 2025 Storyhouse Screenwriting Festival. Okay, it says she rose to prominence in her feature-length debut writer-director with Little Woods, which won, okay, female filmmaker, okay, Tribeca Film Festival. She also is known as the Candyman of Marvel Comics films and the Marvels upcoming project. Okay. It says, taken to the stage on the annual events, the guest of honor recapped the deadline. The director reflected that the ins and outs of filmmaking career, including the brief dance with the MCU, which she admitted was more frustrating than fun due to the franchise factory line production style. Okay. Because they already have the stuff and they just piece in a person and put them in. They had a date and they were prepping certain things. And you just have to lean in to the process hardcore, recalled DaCosta. Her host of Kate DeLand, the director upcoming of Megan's spinoff, they said the way that they make those films are very different in the way Idea would also make a film. So basically, Kevin Feige is the puppet master behind the scenes, right? And it says, so you have to lean in the process and hope for the best. It didn't happen this time, and you kind of have to trust the machine, okay? Yet despite the attempt to take the chin-up attitude towards the situation, the director then detailed the fact that the Marvel's production that would burn any filmmaker, then rather than resembling her take on the Marvel's trio big screen team-up, the film's post-production process saw it shredded into disastrous final cut and audience ultimately received. Now, I'm gonna just give you my thoughts on this. I don't know if this is exactly what's happening, but I've been on sets, right? I've been on movie sets for 20 years. Commercials, feature films, okay? I used to rub noses with directors and producers. I hear a lot of things that go on. And what this sounds like for Marvel is that, and this is why I think they're going over budget, by the way. So they bring in a name director, someone that they have to pay a lot of money to, but they actually don't use them to their full potential because Kevin Feige's behind the scenes making all the previews and stuff beforehand, okay? They have all the stuff that they have to go to the edit. So they let the director think that they're going to, so they waste the money, shooting the stuff that they let them shoot, but they're never going to use because they already know what they're going to use, okay, because they have to get them out at a certain period of time because there's a thread that runs through them all, okay? So when they do this, the director does all these shots, and then what happens is they don't use any of them. And then when they get back to the final production, okay, for the final edit, they see what they filmed, and the director is now already moved over to the next project, okay? Basically, they're moving on. They're not tied down to, they're staying with this project until they're done to move to their next project. They just bring them in, let them go, and then they take care of the rest. Well, the problem with this is there's a lot of reshoots. And because there's a lot of reshoots, because the director did certain things and they didn't get certain shots or whatnot, they have to go back and do reshoots. And reshoots are more expensive, okay? They have to rush the CGI. They have to do all of these things because they didn't get the shots they needed to get because they were trying to be artistic. And they're not letting them try to be artistic. They're just trying to get their name on the film to be like, oh, this person directed this film. You know this movie? This person directed that movie, and this is what it is. So what's happening here is this is why they're going over budget. This is why the Marvels cost $325 million. This is why it took, 4 reshoots. This is why Captain America, the Brave New World, had 4 reshoots because they don't know what they're doing, right? The director wants to do something, but Feige and Disney doesn't want them to do that thing. But they let them do their thing, and they're like, just let them do this stuff. Wasting money, wasting resources, wasting all the stuff. And again, I don't know if this is exactly what's happening, but it sounds like this is what's happening because I've never seen reshoots are a normal thing. Reshoots are a normal thing. But if you have your production in line, you know what shots you need, okay? You know your shots that you need are taken, and once you get to your edit and you start doing the final cut, you know what shots you need from that point on, right? You know what you missed, and you're like, oh, we need that pickup, we need this, we need that. But to go back 3, 4, 5 times to reshoot stuff, that's just really bad management. That's really bad higher up. And I don't know if that's Feige or if that's someone else they put in place, but there's a lot of problems with this. Hence why the last 4, 5 films that Marvel put out didn't make money. Okay, they lost a lot of money. The Marvels was the worst film until the next worst film came out, right? So it's mind-boggling to me that they're still doing this. But mostly the movie's already filmed. The movie's already done. They know what they're putting out, and now they just have to insert. It's almost like if you take your iPhone right now, okay? It's like you take your iPhone right now, and you go to iMovie, and you could say a close-up shot, a wide shot, a 2 shot. It gives you a previs of what you need to put, and then you just go film a tight shot, go film a wide shot, go film a 2 shot, and then just slide them into the template, right? That's the way that Marvel and Disney make movies now. They don't make it where it's artistic or original or any way, shape, or form. Maybe the Russo brothers have more of a leeway. I don't know, because they made billions and billions of dollars, so they have more leeway now. But for the upcoming directors that come in that they want to give a name to, or the writers, they already have shit already filled out. It's like ab libs, bring in the person, put in a name, put in a thing, and then sell it as is. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about the Marvel movies? Do you think they've lost its magic? Do you think they should let the directors direct? Or do you think they should keep doing what they're doing with the previs and that they're just a machine line that they have to get out by a certain date? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Robert Jones says having the characters move across the entire map was annoying for me. Oh, for the game? Yeah, for that. Jay Breezy says only certain directors would actually do stuff. Right, they have to have a pre-baked in profile, like a resume. Everybody else is like, well, we're just using you for your name. We're giving you a shot, it's a springboard to your career, but you're actually not directing. Roadkill says, rubbing noses. What did you had these do at these parties? You'd be surprised at what you did at some of these parties. I brought my wife. This was a PG party, basically, right? We had a rap party for, I won't say what show, but I was working for a company, and we did a reality show, and there was a rap party, and at the time she wasn't my wife, and I was like, hey, do you want to go to a rap party with me? Because I hate going to these things. Because it's all a you have to keep this persona up, right? If you want to get your next gig, you gotta be cool. You know what I mean? Roadkill. So you show up to a party, you could drink, but you can't drink too much because then people, what they'll do is to try to get behind your back, they'll tell stories about you. They'll try to fuck you over, right? Figuratively and literally. Okay. And so I brought my then girlfriend, which is now my wife, to the party. And then within the first like hour was fine. And then they brought in like strippers and they brought in stuff. And this is not a male dominated production company I was with. I was working for females that own company. And they brought in stuff and there was other things that came in. And as soon as they came in, she was like, I was like, all right, we can go. Right. We were there long enough to make an appearance, whatever. But I didn't play ball, right? I didn't play ball, and that's why I didn't work for that company afterwards. They actually fired me about 6 months afterwards. So that's the way the industry works, right? You either play ball or you don't play ball, right? So let me tell you another situation. When you're on set, if the crew you're working with decides that they want to do something, let's say just do drugs, okay? But you don't want to do drugs with that crew. They get you fired because you're a snob and you don't want to do drugs. So because they want to do drugs and you don't want to do drugs, they have to fire you and find someone that wants to do drugs with them, type of stuff. That happens all the time in the industry. All the time. Roadkill says Craven was fucking badass. Dude, I love that. It bombed at the box office, so it failed as a movie. But I hear good things about it when it's on the streaming service. Travis says, 30, I think too many cooks spoil the kitchen, or however that phrase goes. Might get to talk about Marvel Rivals releasing one new hero every month. That's what you wanted, right? I already talked about it. Talked about it last week, Crowded. I said I was right again. I said they should release 12 a year, and now they released 4. They're releasing 2, which is 6, and then after this season, they're releasing 1 a month until the end of the year, which would make 12. That's right, Travis. Wait, you got to be cool? There goes 30's chances. I wish I could have been in Wesley's parties with you, been behind the scenes on movies. 30, but you showed integrity and you got a wife out of it, and that she loved you so much. Better trade, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. You should have just pulled out the Hollywood drugs like vitamin B as cocaine. Yeah, no. There's some crazy shit that happens. Let me tell you. There's some crazy shit that happens. And I'm okay going to crazy parties, but I'm not okay going to crazy parties because if I don't go, then it affects my career. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'd never been to a party like what P. Diddy used to do, okay? I would never put myself in that situation. But, hell, I'll tell you another story, okay? So I was a PA at this time. I wasn't even doing anything extravagant. I was a PA. I had the night shift. It was a reality show. I can't say who it was, okay? But we were at someone's house. My only job was I was hired to come in and watch the gear in the midnight shift. Okay. The day I showed up, it's my first day there. They had I showed up and they were having a party, a house party. It was a reality show. Okay. There's cameras all over the house. Something was going on in the house and I happened to be there and see it on the cameras. My only job was to make sure no one did anything to the cameras. Okay, I was in the garage. They had a whole studio set up in the garage, and my only job was that I didn't touch anything or do anything. Did my job, showed up the next day, and I got fired. And I got fired because somebody at the house was doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing, and I got fired because I knew they did it. Very high-profile person, okay? Which I can't say. And I got fired. And I was like, this is like one of my first jobs in the industry. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I got fired. And then I got pulled through the mud a little bit because people didn't want to hire me because of it. And I didn't do anything. I was a witness I knew too much. I knew too much. I'll tell you, it was someone in the music industry, and that's all I'll say. Very big at the time. Very big. Travis says, I actually met Samuel L. Jackson. Very laid back dude. I'm sure he is. I'm going to say it was Ice Cube. No, it wasn't Ice Cube. This was back in like 2005, 2006. Who's Pauly D? I don't even know who the fuck that is. You would have got fired no matter what you did, and where you lose situation. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the way it works. It's like I just picked to get a job. You know what I mean? To get into the industry. Travis says, "All right, let's play 20 questions. Step 1: was he white? Yes." And while you do that, I'm going to start looking through Twitter and see what's or X to see what's going on here. It was Puff Daddy. You were at the parties. No. This is before, I think, the parties. You should tell everyone at this point. Fuck them. I wish I could. Unfortunately, stuff like this, crowded, comes back even at this point. Travis, the two questions you asked was he white? I said yes, and then you said, was he a rapper? So no, it's not Eminem. Right? That would be the only person. That would be the only person. You think you're gonna knock on the door? Possibly, yeah, 100%. It was Eminem. It wasn't Eminem. It wasn't Eminem. I love this. Look, I love this. This is a post. Okay, this is a post. I'm not going to click on it because this is bait. Okay, PlayStation 5's best-selling games on PSN in March of 2025. Do you think that's the best-selling game in March? If you don't tell us sales numbers, I don't give a shit what you say. Canadians can't buy a Switch 2 this week either. Oh, did it get delayed? Canadians can't buy a Switch 2 this week either. Delays in pre-orders of Nintendo's next console now includes America's neighbors to north. What happened? What happened? Did Trump also affect Canada's shipments as well?
so long, I've lost my way, but it's all good vibes on this fine day. Oh, it's the morning slow, it's the story today. Hot takes, jokes, and the games people play. Coffee in hand, let the chaos unfold. It's a brand new day on the morning scroll.
Oh, you got the new Krakoa map.
Hashtags trending, the tea's been spilled. Memes so fresh, the caffeine fueled thrills. I've read so long, I've lost my way, but it's all good vibes on this fine day.
Uh-oh. There he is. It's a statue, but we'll take it. That means he's coming to the game.
Let the chaos unfold. It's a brand new day on the morning scroll. On the morning scroll. Breaking news check, silly memes, heck yes, random thoughts from folks you don't know. That's just life on the morning show. Oh, it's the morning scroll, it's the story today.
The map doesn't look that interesting as of right now. It looks really wide open. It looks really wide open.
The trending scene, we're scrolling through the world on this glowing screen. So sit back, relax, let the feed take control. It's the perfect companion to the morning scroll. It's time of the show where we dive into X.
Why is it delayed for Canada? Does it say why?
Tweets are chirping, trends take flight. It's popping on X this morning light. Looking for news that came out while we were
Andor coming out April 22nd.
oh, it's the morning scroll, it's the story today. Hot takes, jokes, and the games people play.
Should we give back the Statue of Liberty? Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Hashtags trending, the tea's been spilled. Memes so fresh, the caffeine fueled thrills.
Minecraft in-game movie event gives you more time. Yeah, it was so popular they gave an additional 7 days on it.
Morning scroll, it's the story today. Hot takes, jokes, and the games people play. Coffee in hand, let the chaos unfold. It's a brand new day on the morning scroll. On the morning scroll.
Let's see what else is going on here.
Hashtags trending, the tea's been
It doesn't look that much else is going on. Lots of talk about the Switch 2 getting delayed in Canada.
oh, it's the morning scroll, it's the story today. Hot takes, jokes, and the games people play. Coffee in hand, let the chaos unfold. It's a brand new day on the morning scroll. On the morning scroll. Breaking news check, silly memes, heck yes, random thoughts from folks
What was that? No.
that's just life on the morning show.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything else is up there. Nintendo Switch 2 console available for pre-order right now for Amazon UK.
Takes jokes and the games people play. Coffee in hand, let the chaos unfold. It's a brand new day on the morning scroll. From sunrise laps to the trending scene, we're scrolling through the world on this glowing screen. So sit back, relax,
All right, let me see what you guys are saying.
take control. It's the perfect companion to the morning scroll.
I'm excited for Mind's Eye. I want to see some gameplay though. We showed gameplay earlier in the stream, Nate. It's about a month old. We looked at it.
Time of the show where we dive into X. The feed is buzzing, the news is alive. Tweets are chirping, trends take flight. It's popping on X this morning light. Looking for news that came out while we were live on the daily grind.
All right, so tonight we're gonna be playing because it's Tuesday night. We're gonna be playing over on 30 and Still Gaming. We're gonna try South of Midnight tonight over on that channel. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, head on over to 30 and Still Gaming. Make sure you hit the subscribe button over there as well. We play some gameplay over there. We'll be back tonight for that. We'll be back tomorrow morning right here on 30 NSG for the Daily Grind, which is Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We also have another channel called Nerding with 30 where I do more entertainment type of stories. I'm working on some scripted stuff for that channel more than I just do on the fly over here. And then we also do a podcast on Thursday nights to end the week on this channel, 30NSG, called Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. That's 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30NSG. You can also watch the past broadcasts over on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and anywhere else a podcast is heard. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tuned in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on.